thought,
Yeah,
okay, he's going to do
because
me
he's
the
in
same
New
way.
Jersey, you know.
Yeah, so, and I'm like, well, maybe he just wants me to do it online. Like, I didn't know.
Guys, we're live. This is Nice Guy Andy podcast. We're having a special show tonight. Like always, I have Sean Johns in the house.
Hello, everybody.
And Johnny Lee Snowden.
What's up?
Johnny Lee's back from suspended. He never really was suspended because the lawyer told me he wasn't suspended. So, all right, then now we have psychic-intuitive astrologist Priscilla.
Yes.
Very special day. We've had her. We've had you booked on the show before, but my Facebook got hacked and we had to delay this. So I wasn't really in a good mood that day because I was. But I'm glad we finally got to meet and got you in the studio.
Yes, for sure. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's our pleasure. So you can go ahead and explain who you are and to the fans and. And tell us about what you do. Tell us about your book. Tell us about who you are, whatever you need to know. And then, you can do some kind of readings on us or whatever, and
sure.
We can go as long as you want.
Okay. For sure. Well, hello, everybody. I am Priscilla, like he said, and I am a recently published author. I published A is for Aries with a friend, Micah Dank, who was on the show before. A couple months ago?
He was. I need to get him back on because I didn't really do it right. I'm better at now. I'm better at it now.
Zoom.
I'm better at the Zoom now. And we'll definitely have him back on.
Yeah, for sure. And me and Micah met through a Facebook astrology group, and we kind of just hit it off, and we planned on writing a book together, and it turned out into a children's astrology book. We really just did it to put that out there so that the kids can start getting familiarized with it. We do believe this is the wave of the future. We're in the age of Aquarius. So, but yeah, with that being said, I also run an astrology business. It's called Spirit Coaching Astrology. I've been doing that professionally now for, let's say, 3 years. But I've been into astrology pretty much my whole life.
Okay.
So it's kind of a long story, so I'll give you the short version. But when I was 8, I'm Hispanic. I come from a Spanish background. I'm Puerto Rican.
Okay.
And my mother used to watch the Spanish news channel. And on the Telemundo,
yes.
to be exact, on that channel, they would have a segment with a professional astrologer. And his name was Walter Mercado. And he was a Pisces, so he was beautiful, and he wore makeup and jewelry, and in that time it was unheard of to see someone like that, especially a man. So I was like, wow, who's this guy?
Yeah, right.
He was all glamorous, you know. And well, he would do the astrology segment on there. They would give him a 30-minute run, and he would go through every sign, giving a quick little psychic reading or whatever you want to call it, and then it would go off. And so I would beg my mom every night, let me stay up, please. I want to hear Scorpio. So since 8 years old, I knew I was a Scorpio.
Okay.
And I just kind of got into it from there. And I would go to school. I would see horoscope books in the library, horoscopes in the newspaper. So it really just jumped out at me a lot growing up. And so I didn't really start researching too much then. I just knew every time I heard someone's birthday, because at this point I taught myself, I knew this person's a Sag, that person's a Leo. So I started
So the basics of astrology.
Yes, just the basic, which is sun sign, what everyone knows.
And this was you as a kid.
And this is I was a kid. Yeah, I'm 8, 9, 10, 11, and I'm
So you knew this stuff
I did, but not as in-depth as I do now. So I didn't get into it deeply till I was 30. And that is called a Saturn return.
You don't even look like you're 30.
I'm actually older than 30.
No, you don't even look like you're 25 or something.
Oh, yeah, I love you. Thank you so much.
So you still haven't learned it yet. Because you're only 25.
No, I'm still 25, guys. This is me talking for the future.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, so there's this thing that's called a Saturn return, and that happens at 29.5 years in everybody's life. So what that means is that when you are born, Saturn is in a specific position, and 29.5 years later, it comes back to that point.
Okay.
So this is what we call a midlife crisis, why everyone at 29.5 feels like, I got to get my shit together. I got to go get settled. I got to get structured. And the reason for that is because Saturn is the planet that rules structure, discipline, restriction, limitation, and seriousness.
Yeah.
It's the energy of persevering. It's the energy of the CEO, corporations. It's father time. So and because it rules time, that's why we get that itch around that age that we're like, I got to get serious with my life.
Yeah.
So around this time, because it is Saturn, it deals with karma. And so a lot of the times people can start to feel heavy karma around this time too, because you're getting weighed out by Saturn now from the first 29 years of your existence and everything that you've done.
And karma is good or bad?
Now, karma can be good or bad because there's karma and dharma.
Yeah.
So depending on how you lived your life, you're going to reap or you're going to sow.
I'm a Taoist, so I know about karma.
Yeah. You know, and that's really major in life. I think all religion is really based on that principle, but it just got so dogmatic, and people just kind of went off the deep end with
like
it. You know
sins
what I mean?
and not
good,
you know? Doing good and sinning and
Exactly.
I've heard of karma, but what is dharma?
So dharma would be the positive aspect of karma.
Okay,
so dharma is a positive one.
Yes. Okay. And here's the thing, though, with karma, they're kind of, because they're dual energy, they can be flipped. So sometimes karma doesn't always have to be bad. It can feel bad, but it's a lesson that you later on you realize, oh, I needed that.
Yeah.
And it really gets you straight. So,
like sometimes you get punched in the mouth. It's like,
and you might freaking need it.
Yeah, you should have needed it. And sometimes karma makes you be like the guy that punches the guy in the mouth.
Absolutely. And you're going to be the villain in someone's story, but they needed that and they didn't realize it. You know what I mean?
And they look down the road and be like, yeah, I needed that. That dude was doing the right thing.
Which is why I don't necessarily believe in good and bad, which
me either.
It's more like lessons, you know what I mean? And there's some people that go and do some extreme stuff, and it's sad, it's hard, you know what I mean?
I live my life with
we cycle.
The yin and yang.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's yin and yang energy. So, you know, you got that principle of feminine and masculine and positive and negative. So around, going back to what I was saying, when I was 29, 30 years old, I got divorced. So karma came around. I got hit hard. I got divorced. It was awful. And I was having a midlife crisis. And I was already studying some other stuff. Okay, so I'll go down this rabbit hole with you guys real quick.
Okay.
But while I was working, which you guys know what I do, and I'll tell the people out there, I was an exotic dancer for a lot of years. Yeah. And
none of us have ever been to one of those stuff. We've never seen it.
Nope.
Well, it's this place, you know.
I've heard stories.
I've heard stories too.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Wink,
okay.
Wink, but,
I think Johnny used to dance himself.
I mean, I have been to one before.
I probably do, Donnie.
You never know. Maybe you saw me there.
Yeah. I seen him in a Speedo and a little bow tie. So
no,
Johnny in a Speedo and a bow tie.
No, I don't need that image.
Yeah.
I mean, it's already burned there anyways.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Jolly's a very handsome man. You can see.
Keep telling himself that, and it'll be true one day.
I mean, it is already true.
Okay. He's so modest.
Okay, so what I was saying is I was going through this, you know, living as a dancer for so many years, and I was raised very religious.
Yes.
Okay, so being in the dancer world and being raised a certain way, I was chastised every day. I ignored
so your
it
mom
while
was
I
on
was
your
there.
ass.
Well, no, actually, my parents didn't care. At this point, they were kind of like out of the religious, but it was more so the subconscious indoctrination.
Okay.
So I was chastising myself.
Beating yourself up.
Oh, yeah. I'd go to work. I would race it while I was there. I'm getting drunk. And then the next day, I just beat myself up. I wouldn't go for 2 or 3 days. And I lived like this for so many years because I felt like I was going to hell. So when I turned 29, I was already in the process of, while I was with my ex-husband, seeking. I was looking for answers. So I was like studying every religion you can think of. Yeah. Down to like demonology, to like Satanism.
I do that
Judaism.
myself a lot. I've done that myself a lot.
And it's actually smart to do that because that's where you can connect the missing pieces and put it into a whole. Yeah. Because our truth, or what is considered truth, is all over the place. Yeah. It's within different cultures, you know what I mean? Yeah. And, you know, we'll talk about that later because it is kind of subjective to your experience. But, you can, if you research, you know, you seek, you shall find, as they say, right?
Yes.
Exactly, yeah.
So I was going through all that, and I was associated with these people called the Hebrew Israelites for the longest, okay?
Hebrew Israelites.
Yes. Okay. They were very radical people, but nonetheless, I learned a lot from them. They are even though they're radical, there's a lot of deep, like, occult information and how to read the Bible correctly, as they say. So I was going through this process where I was learning this thing called etymology. And this is where you take words and you break down the roots and figure out, you know, where it came from, what the other meanings are. And I was taking that and reading the Bible differently with that. So now the Bible was popping up at me completely different.
It wasn't weird because I have a book, an etymology book, in my car right now.
You need to go down the rabbit hole. That's what that is. That's a sign. Look at this. Look at the synchronicities here.
I know, right?
That's awesome. But yeah, so I started breaking down the Bible, and I got to the book of Enoch, and from there I realized that in the book of Ezekiel and the book of Enoch, which is the missing book of the Bible, there's an apocryphal book or whatever, there was astrology in there. And
Yeah.
I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And the more I started digging, I realized astrology was very big in, the biblical text. And
That's
not
what
just,
Micah.
Oh, yeah. So that's what Micah does. He's an astrotheologist.
Yeah.
So he takes all of religious books and shows how it's actually astrology.
Yes, yeah, he does that a lot.
And that's how we met in an astrology
yeah.
group where he one day put some Bible verse up and he correlated it to astrology. And no one in the group was doing this. And I knew this stuff.
Yeah.
So he jumped out at me and I was like, I immediately inboxed him and I'm like, hey, what do you know? And we just kind of, we just spiraled it from there.
I definitely have to have him back on because I was more interested when I had him on, is more interested about learning who he was instead of what he knew, because I'd heard his stuff already on another podcast. And I guess he didn't understand what I wanted, and I didn't understand what he wanted. But I wanted to know who he was.
And he's got a phenomenal story, so you do want to interview him.
Yeah, I wanted to interview
Absolutely.
him, and he thought he was going to come on and just spill all his information. And I'd already heard his information. I know my audience probably hadn't, and so I really need to have him on to let him do his stuff, and then
have him back on again.
Have an interview with him.
There's a whole reason how he got into
he's a very interesting guy, and I've listened to him every time I get a chance to listen to him on a podcast or something. I'll listen to him, and
he's been everywhere. He's been on over 300 podcasts.
I started listening to his books. Like I work, and I can listen to
his audiobook.
His audio So I started listening to his audio. It's very interesting. And
the way he writes that series that he has that you're talking about, Into the Rabbit Hole, it's written as a fantasy type of book, but it's actually a lot of factual information.
Yeah, exactly.
But he had to write it this way, because of our overseas.
Yeah, but it's a great story.
Because the storyline kind of goes.
I think he's working on a movie too, right? Yeah, he's working on a movie. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. So. Yeah, he's a great person, but you definitely got to have him back on.
I definitely will. I'll definitely have him back on. Since we're doing the Thursday night shows are going to be more different.
I can come on with him too.
You can come on, and then we can do we can get down a whole rabbit hole.
Yeah, for sure, because you guys will like that information. So now he goes more onto the theology part of it, which is really
he breaks
deep.
down the Bible and all that stuff.
And he'll go to dates and how this government did this and that, how we got to where we are today. And I do it more so on a energy level, astrology.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what astrology is. So to break that down, well, let me finish the story first.
Yeah, finish the story.
So
we got a long time.
So I have the Bibles, whatever. I find out there's astrology, and then that is when I was 30, that's when I just went down that rabbit hole. So I started adding myself to every astrology group on Facebook. I started following every astrology thing I could find on YouTube. I started buying books, and I really just started going down that hole. And what was crazy about it was most of the stuff that I literally learned in 6 months, which is crazy because I feel like I already knew this stuff.
Yeah.
And so when I learned my chart and I started identifying and understanding what my energy represented, it showed me that in other lifetimes I was already into this stuff, which is why it came so easy and why it always jumped out at me in my life.
Yeah.
So
I always go through life and I'm like, I knew this person before.
Exactly.
I think these two guys, I knew them in a different life, probably.
Yeah, so that's the fun part about astrology is that eventually, as we get deeper through these stuff, every time I come on, I can take your charts, do synastries, and I can show how you guys connected in other lives.
Okay.
I can show things like that. So the thing about astrology, a lot of people think it's a psychic work. Now, why I call myself a psychic is completely different from my astrology.
Yeah.
Astrology is more so a tool. It's a mechanical tool used. There's a lot of math involved in it, but it's used as to see cycles.
You can see where Saturn was when I was 15.
Right, and that right there would tell me what type of themes you might have been dealing with around that time.
Yeah. And
then from there, I can look at what Saturn was doing if it was, in conjunction to Mars, if it was sextiling to Pluto. And what that means, those are angles. So this is where we use geometry and stuff like that in astrology. So the sky is when you're reading it, you got to use the math so you can understand.
Yeah.
Because again, planets are shifting and moving at their own force and motion. So if you're looking at the forces and how they're, pushing together, then you get an energy, you get an imprint. And from there, that imprint will give you a description of what somebody might be dealing with. So with all of us, we all have a birth energy. We all vibrate at a different frequency. And that's what astrology charts are. We're just looking at an energy of a person. And so how I kind of got more to the understanding of the psychic aspect was the years that I was working as a dancer. I know that sounds crazy, but having to learn how to read body language.
Oh, I'm sure you had.
You know what I mean?
I'm sure you was really close to a lot of people, physically
absolutely.
close.
And you learn how to Right, the subtles of that energy. You learn how to pick up on them. You learn how, what
So-
movement, this and that. So, that when I started realizing that that's what astrology was, I started correlating the energies behind it. So I can be at work and I can be dealing with a guy, and automatically I'll be like, "Are you a Gemini sun?" And they freak out.
Yeah.
because I can see the vibration at this point. So
And you know who to stay away from and who not to.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And all of us can do this. So here's the thing, like, it's not that I'm more gifted than you per se. We all have the ability to tap into that psychic stuff that they call it. It's like a radio station. It's all about fine tuning it. So you just learn to work with it and get it on that channel that works the best for you. That's all it is. It's a frequency. And so astrology, really what it all is the language of energy. So it's not something you believe in. It's something that you learn to speak. You learn to interpret. That's really all. That's it. Like,
Okay,
that's
yeah.
the breakdown of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really is.
Yeah. So, so I do astrology, and now as I'm getting further into my practice, I am learning how to incorporate numerology. So I know you might be a little bit familiar with it, Andy, but numerology is just the number of the vibrations on a scale, like on a music scale.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And that's what we are. We are literally the vibration of the music. So everyone collectively right now we're making a song. We're making frequency. And
That's
some
true.
people are tuned at a really messed up, like, you
Yeah,
know, and they're over
crazy
there
le- yeah.
crazy, and then you got people who are harmonized. And that's all it is. So that's how I incorporate numerology, how I incorporate the vibrations and music. Harmonics is a big thing because, again, everybody's vibrating and everything vibrates, not just you and I. Even this table that's like dense, it's vibrating.
I seen where they had they had a piece of metal and then they put some sand on it and then they played a song
Yeah.
and it made like a really cool
yes.
design.
Yeah.
And if they made like if it was like
Yeah, I think that's called semantics or something like that. I'm
Yeah.
probably saying it wrong.
So,
but
like, yeah.
you can do that with water too. You can play like
Yep.
a certain frequency with the water, and it'll just go crazy if it's not at a proper frequency. And then if you put it, I think at like 432 hertz, it makes a beautiful snowflake. So
Yeah.
and that's how humans are. Humans are either vibrating at a really like low, dense frequency, and they're making chaos,
Yeah.
or they're vibrating at a higher
well,
I
frequency.
watched somebody do the same
Yep.
thing and kind of like play a song and have using fire doing it to the tune of the music.
That's so funny.
I
you
saw
said
that like
Yeah.
this morning on Facebook.
There's another one on Facebook with mushrooms. Someone like plugged in like one of these little cords onto the mushroom, and they were making sounds and music with the mushrooms because
Wow.
the mushrooms are
And the mushrooms,
vibrating.
like,
Yep.
boom, boom,
Which
boom,
is
boom,
why
boom. Wow.
I believe very much in like
So if a-
shrooms and stuff like that for healing.
if a person has a bad vibration, can that be changed? or-
Absolutely. So that's actually a really wonderful question.
Yeah.
So that's the thing about astrology and what I do in my practice. So I'm not just giving people these psychic readings. I'm not just like whoa them like, how did you know that around this time?
So you're trying
here?
to fix people.
I'm fixing people.
Yeah, we know a
absolutely.
couple guys that need to be fixed.
But see,
Exactly.
here's the thing: I can't just magically fix them.
Yeah.
I can give them the pointers.
Yeah.
I can tell them, "Hey, this is what's
Gotta
going to work
fix
for you."
themselves.
But they have to put in the work, absolutely. And that's where it becomes hard because people don't want to see that. Oh, well, I got a shadow side. I have a bad side. Because what do? We constantly like, oh, this person did me wrong.
Yeah.
And we don't realize that person just came into your life to awaken that mirror reflection
We
of
have
what
a-
you got wrong with you.
We have a guy that is mad at us for succeeding in our podcast.
That's his shadow side.
Yeah.
He needs to
Yeah.
go. He's probably just jealous.
He
and
is
needs to
very
work with his
jealous.
Jealousy.
And we've invited him on the show several times, and he had his own podcast. And he's like, I was on top of the world. And then we have a podcast,
God.
and we had nothing to do with your unsuccessfulness. But
And if he just learned to vibrate different, he could learn to
Yeah,
merge or something. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Or learn to work from you. So I tell
Yeah.
a lot of people whenever there's jealousy involved, it's
Pirate
not that they
says,
don't like
Andrew-
you, it's that they're admiring you.
Pirate says, you fixed me 3 summers ago. For that, I thank you. Your buddy
my friend Pirate, yeah, he was
Joe Monroe, thanks
He-
for the stars, brother.
he was in such a bad mood when I met him, and I didn't like this guy. But something just kept me like coming back to him. And then I was like, dude, you got to do some mushrooms. He's like,
I love shrooms, man.
he was like, okay.
Magic mushrooms.
Yeah, he was
Yep.
like, okay. And he started doing them, and he just like, he got out of control with it. And then one day he stopped,
Wow.
and he changed his whole life, got a great job,
Yeah,
Hello,
my
Sandy.
chemicals started working in there. So
got his kid back that
Oh, that's great.
he was like really screwed up about. Got his kid back, and he got a bunch of money from taxes and moved his ass to Florida.
That's awesome. And you know the thing about the mushrooms, like that's why I don't know if you guys have saw a lot of the research and the test studies they're doing now.
Oh,
they're
yeah,
using
yeah.
it to help people with depression,
PTSD and all that stuff.
everything.
Yeah.
So I
friend
live
of
by
mine-
that.
Actually, it helped me big time with depression a
Same.
few years ago. Yeah.
Same.
One of my dear friends just got, she tried shrooms for the first time a few months ago, and she's like, where has this been all my life?
Yeah, and they do it with ketamine now too.
Yeah, I saw
They
that.
really do.
Yeah.
See, I haven't really gone down too far into that rabbit
Yeah,
hole. But
me either.
you
I
know,
haven't, but I know that I watched a little
And
video.
ketamine is used for horses, isn't it? It's like a horse
Yeah.
tranquilizer. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched a video the other day, and it was actually a guy that has a YouTube channel, and him and his wife went down there, and his wife had got really depressed, and they went down somewhere, Jamaica or something, and did some ketamine, and
I wonder
changed
what
his mind.
what in it makes that happen.
It's a psychedelic
Is
thing.
it considered a psychedelic?
Yeah, it's a psychedelic.
Okay. So it's like ayahuasca and shrooms and all
Yeah,
that,
like-
and peyote.
LSD and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Same kind. I think they're all different.
Yeah, variations. I think
Yeah.
shrooms might be like the lowest octave of
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I want to try ayahuasca, but I'm scared.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Me too.
And one day I'm gonna go to the Amazon. We're gonna do it together.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, so in my practice, that's what I'm doing. I'm sitting here trying to. I look at someone's chart. I see where they have their struggles, and I'm like, okay, so struggles in our charts are actually representative of a lot of power too, and we don't realize that. Well, we have hard things when something's really hard for us to work with.
Yeah.
It's because once you master it, you're gonna master it. Like you're gonna be really good at it.
Yeah, yeah.
And sometimes power struggles in your chart or in your energy, it's better than just being all the way good at it, like from birth, because you're going to put more effort into it than someone that's naturally born with that. And you can, end up surpassing that person that was naturally born with an easy way to, to maneuver through it.
Yeah.
So I always tell people when there's a lot of squares, when you get into astrology and you see squares and oppositions, which are supposed to be the malefics, the bad.
So when things line up in a square.
Yeah,
is
so
what you're talking
90
about.
degrees. So
Yeah.
when planets are within 90-degree angles of each other, they're representative of a square.
Okay.
And that represents a power struggle between the planets because of the force, the way that they're pushing.
Yeah.
And in that area of your chart, it can tell me, like, okay, like say it's in the 5th house. This is the house of creativity. And say it's squaring to it would be the second house. That would be your house of stability and finances.
Okay.
So
how many houses are there?
There's 12.
12 houses.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is where it gets interesting because this was how we understand the math. So it's 12 houses for 12 seasons for the 12 months in a year.
Okay.
Okay. So everyth's in cycles, and that's how all the planets
12
work.
months, 12
12
planets.
houses, 12 planets, 12 months.
12 planets. Okay.
Yes. And so
Well, there's only 9 planets.
no, sorry. 12 houses, 12 months, and the 12. No, we have 9 planets, but then we have like asteroids, and we have the south node, the north node. So we have points too.
Okay.
That correspond into that.
Okay.
And
okay.
so with the astrology that I'm doing now, I also don't just do astrology. So like I said, I tie in numerology. And now
Cardology.
And now I'm tying in cardology. So that's kind of what I really wanted to talk about today.
So
more in
cardology has to do with tarot cards and
depth.
regular
So-
playing cards.
Yeah, so actually no, tarot is something different from
Okay,
the
okay.
from the cards. So
Okay,
the
so
regular playing deck of cards are a divination tool. They were actually a divination tool before they became playing cards.
Really?
Yeah, so in the
So
14th century
They weren't made.
for playing. No, they were made for
People just
divination.
created games.
Yes. So in
Facts.
the 14th century, they wanted to keep this, gate kept. So what the kings and the queens of those times, they would have their divinators teach, the masses, playing games, regular playing games, but they never told them what they were actually for.
Okay.
So like spades and rummy, all those are just cover-ups for what those cards actually can do.
No shit.
Yeah.
Really?
So
Okay, so you're saying the playing cards that all we had as kids have something to do. It's astrology,
it is. Yes, it's astrology, and it's also
numerology.
Numerology. It's energy.
Energy.
That's it. It's just representative of energy. And how this works is the 52 cards in the deck is the 52 weeks in a year.
So did tarot come from that?
Yes. So
Okay.
Yes. Tarot became its own thing, but it was
came from
kind
the-
of carbon copied off of the cardology. Yeah, cardology is a little bit more primitive. Some people argue that.
So the
depending
deck
on
of
the
cards,
timeline, but
the deck of cards, the playing cards are older than tarot.
Yes.
Okay.
yes. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, you've taught me something. Like
Wow,
wow, you just
that's-
blew my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know
so-
that playing
Didn't know that
cards
either.
instead of like playing rummy or go fish or anything like that
goes
is
deeper.
actually goes deeper.
It goes much deeper. And the thing with the cards is the way that the shapes are on, like, say, the 5, right? Those have geometric shapes. That's why they're positioned the way they're positioned. And they mean something. They mean an energy and a frequency. And that's what all those shapes are. As we were talking about, the
Like,
frequencies
so-
will make shapes.
So the clubs and the hearts and all that.
And the way that they
Yep.
design them on the card, they'll make, if you draw it out, it'll make a geometric shape. And there's
Okay.
a reason for behind it because it represents the energy of that card. And now the reason why we have that.
So say a 7 of hearts means what?
So a 7, so hearts represent love and relationship. So if you're a 7, you're dealing with, 7s are more so, a lot of people think 7s are good numbers, which they can be.
Yeah.
They're a master number. Once you master something, you'll know it. But 7s are like energy of having to go through a lot of strife in life. You have to go through a lot of stuff in order to learn. So 7s can be considered hard-headed.
Yeah. So 7s like in gambling and in slots are
Be
lucky,
Lucky, yes. So,
but
and
they're
that's-
not really lucky.
And, well, they are once you master the energy.
Oh, okay. So you got to master
You
the
have
energy.
to master it, absolutely. Just like with
So-
anything in life, you know, you're not lucky until you get it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with the cards, I'm just gonna kind of read my notes here.
Oh, you go ahead.
So they say they originated in China. Okay.
Okay.
The Chinese people had their own type of divination cards, and then they kind of graduated into the deck of cards as well.
Okay.
But they had something else, and I can't remember the name. But if you, and then we have them in the 14th century that became really popular because of the kings and queens, and you know they was related to the cards.
So the kings and the queens and the cards, was that
Those are court cards, so
Court
those
cards.
are power cards. Yeah, so
power
I'll
cards?
get into
Okay,
that next.
Okay.
But where the cards originated from, and it's kind of hard to tell if this is the truth or not. So like I said, we really don't know. But speculation is that they came from Atlantis,
Okay.
the lost city.
The lost
okay?
city of Atlantis. Okay.
And if you kind of go down that rabbit hole, it makes a lot of sense, and I'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
so the Egyptians also used the cards, and they used it for trading. Okay, trading post. That's how they would use the cards, and they would trade their goods through these cards. It's really funny if you look into the Egyptian, like how they did it. There's a whole reason for
So
it.
you use playing cards to make trades.
Yes, to make trades. So that's how it kind of started, and then and it was because they didn't want people to know the trades out in the open.
Yeah.
So they would use the cards because the masses thought it was just a playing deck of
Yeah.
cards. They didn't get it. You know what I mean?
So if I gave you like a 6 of heart,
You
that
give
would
me
mean
6 of hearts, and they would mean whatever.
that means I got 4 goats over here that I traded
Bingo.
you for. Okay.
And the regular people wouldn't know what was going on.
Yeah. Okay.
And so once we moved past that, we got to the 14th century, and they used it in medieval times for however they used it. But so if we look at the world, and this is how we look at it in astrology too. If we look at the world, right, the world would be considered the stage, and the sun would be what is the lights, like how we have here.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
would be the sun, and the world is the stage, and we are the actors. And that's what we're doing. We are acting out the energy that
Yes.
we're born with, okay? Now, the 52 cards represent the 52 weeks in a year, okay? And then we have 13 cards in each suit, and that represents the 13 weeks in each season, okay? So now we're talking about
Oh
cycles.
wow.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand.
I'm just
Okay.
now getting the correlate.
Yeah, and then the 13 cards in each deck also represent the 13 lunar cycles we have in a year. Okay? They're all represent, everything's about numbers, okay?
So the lunar cycle means the moon cycles
Yes.
around us.
And we have 13 of them in 1 year.
Okay.
So like it goes from waxing to waning 13 times.
Yeah.
Okay. And so that's what the 13 cards in one deck or in one suit represents.
Okay.
So each suit has 13
13
cards from
cards.
the ace to the
king.
number 2 or the king. Yeah.
King.
Yeah, ace to the, I forgot ace is 1.
Yeah. Ace to the king.
Yeah, there you go. And so we have 12 court cards in a deck, which is, the king, queen, all 4 from each, suit.
Yeah.
And that represents 12 months in 1 year. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, so the cards are really deep if you start to unmake the correlation.
And then there's like
They really
52
are.
weeks in a year.
Yes, and then we have jokers, and we have the jokers because if you add up all the face values of the cards, they equals 364 days. But then if we add in the joker, which represents 1 1/4, and you add that up, with the cards, then you get 365 and 1/4 days, which is representative of the year. And then you have the second joker, which will bring in the leap years.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Okay. Yeah.
So the cards literally go off of the cycles, just like the
The
planets.
calendar and the
calendars,
cycles
the
and
clocks,
the lunar.
everything.
the
And this
moon,
is
the
how
sun,
the world
stars.
is. And it's literally right in front of us. We don't even realize it. And everything is literally fathom off of these cycles.
Yeah.
Even down to our law, our language, all of it. Like the law and the language that they use in law, it's not English. We think it is because we're hearing English.
Yeah.
But it's legalese.
Legalese.
And legalese is actually, what's that called? What they speak in Catholic. Latin?
Latin.
Yes, it's
Latin.
representative Latin. And because it's a whole different language.
Yeah.
And the courts is literally made off of these cycles and religion stuff, but past the dogmas that we're taught. So it's a lot deeper than the dogmas. But people can't get past the dogmas to kind of figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
people are scared. They scared us with, the devil and hell, don't go looking. And that was a way to keep us out of the information.
Yeah.
Because the information really, if you can follow these cycles, you can change your freaking life. This is how you take your energy, like you were talking about,
Yeah, and change
make
it.
to at the highest optimal level that you can create.
Yeah.
And be functioning, vibrating, like just happy.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, and
That's
attracting
what we
everything
all
to
want.
you.
Yeah.
And this is what they consider magic. That they tell people, like, hocus pocus. It is like that, but it's more so like this with numbers and cycles
Yeah.
and really just portals,
And-
working through energy portals
Yeah.
and days that you can be like, okay, I can manifest this. on
Numbers
this
are
day.
magic. Numbers.
Absolutely.
With
They really
numbers,
are.
you can invent.
We are
they
we are
invented the-
numbers.
Yeah.
Computers are numbers. Our brains are literally off of the same hard drive of the
computer, yeah.
the motherboard.
Yeah.
So it's all
So,
pretty much the same.
like, numbers are the universal language.
Absolutely, and that's the language that I'm reading in astrology. Because at the end of the day, the energy is just numbers. It's just a vibration frequency.
Okay.
That's it.
So you're like a calculator.
Yeah. And guess what? I hated math growing up.
I know,
I was
right?
like an F student. I don't know what
Yeah.
happened.
I
Now
think
it's
Right.
math.
That was always my worst
I
subject.
hated it. And
If
look
they
at-
wanted us-
One plus one was three in my back when I was in
that
school.
was me too.
Yeah, if they wanted us to learn, like,
They're not going to tell
She's
us.
Numbers,
not
they should
high
touch us
right
this
now. Bobby Green. Oh, good lord.
what do you say?
He goes, I think she is high. Bobby Green, she's not
okay.
high. But then again,
Thank you.
there's no judgment
Thank
if you are.
We,
Appreciate that.
guys, I just want to let everybody know out in the
That
audience.
just tuned
and
in.
we're just, having some fun, and we're learning some new stuff here. And you can take it as seriously as you want to take it, but we're all just having fun.
Yeah,
and
you can joke.
know,
I'm open to it,
and
man.
she's,
I'm not a stick in the butt.
she's not the devil. She's not the devil. That's Johnny Lee.
Yes,
Oh,
I agree.
Okay. She's just teaching us some stuff, that we didn't know.
Yeah.
yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. Always
So,
fun to
uh,
learn
Everything's
different
learning.
things.
So going back to the cards, the two colors represent, the basic deck was red and black back
Red
in the
and
days.
black,
They've
okay.
changed it or whatever,
Yes.
but that represents day and night, positive, negative, yin, yang, male and female.
Okay. So the red is the
Female and
black.
no,
is,
sorry. I think red is actually masculine and black is actually feminine because
Yeah.
feminine is the dark energy,
So, like in the yin yang, the black is the feminine, and you would think the black
which
would
is
be
the yang, and
yeah.
the yin is actually the masculine.
Yeah, you would think opposite. I don't know why, but
But it's because the masculine energy is more so outward. It's more so on a physicality level.
Yes.
So it's more
Megan Desire, thanks for tuning in. I'm glad you could catch this. Don't worry about being late. We were late too.
That's right.
It happens.
And
fashionably late.
yeah.
And she just happened.
Better
to
late
also-
than never.
Yeah, for sure.
I always say.
She also
Oh, you was early when you said you'd be here at 9.
At 9,
You
and
ended
I
up-
got, yeah, because I
Yeah.
was like, you know what, I got to get this done.
Oh
fast.
yeah, we were so glad.
Look,
like,
you guys, my 10-year-old daughter helped me write this. Look at her.
Aw.
handwriting.
Awesome.
I was like, write this down, these notes, right now as I'm doing my makeup.
oh, that's awesome.
as
I got a.
So we can shout out to her because that's
I got
why I'm here.
I got
early.
11.
Shout out to
Lily.
Priscilla's Lee.
Lily,
I
Aaliyah.
can't talk. Sorry.
My son is Lily.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's her
Yep.
nickname. She
Yeah.
hates it. She
His
wants
name
to
is
be called Leah
his
now.
name is Leland. They call him Lily.
Yeah, I call her Lily too. She's
Yeah.
Leah.
Oh, I'm never going to call him Noodles again.
Noodles. It's,
You'll be
it's
stuck
Leland,
with Lily.
Lily.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Mr. Presley, Anthony, I always call him Mr. Presley. I don't know. There is room for everyone on the Nice Guy Andy podcast. It's all inclusive and for more than just wrestling. Thank you, Mr. Presley.
Thank you, Mr. Plessy.
Bobby Green says she knew you was going to be late. Thank you, Bobby Green.
Yes, thank you, Bobby Green.
I love
Thanks,
that.
Bobby. Bobby's something
He's
else.
a trip.
Well, I like that. I like you guys got a lot of fans. That's awesome.
Oh, we got a lot of fans. We have a lot of
Thanks,
people.
guys.
And
like-
we love introducing.
we had a show last night, and we had like 300 or 400 people watching
Yes.
us live.
Something like that. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. We had two.
Well, that's why you got your friend jealous.
Yeah. Yeah. We had some great guys on last night. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Laughed more last night than I had in a few months.
Wow.
It was great. Just
Okay.
hey,
Party.
sometimes you need to laugh.
Yeah, for
Yes,
sure.
that's right.
For
Oh
sure.
yeah.
I left out of that. My face was hurting. I was laughing so hard. It was just having so much fun last night.
That's the
Just kind of
best,
got my
man.
minds off everything. They were telling old stories, and just I'm laughing, hearing the
For
thing.
sure.
Anthony that called that messages. He's the owner of New South Wrestling here in Lexington, and he's a big supporter of ours and
And he's
a
a
great
great guy.
friend to our podcast. So
Awesome.
We do appreciate you, man, Anthony.
he's
Personally.
such a
really
open, positive person. Like you would meet this guy, you would love him. He's just open and positive.
Yeah, I can see the vibrations on people, so
Yeah,
I'll know.
always like always ready to like help you out and like work with you. And he was
That's
that's
great.
why he's real positive about
They
this.
give you the shirt off his
episode.
back if
He
could.
really would.
Yeah,
Oh, that's nice. Okay, so he's a good guy.
yeah, they're good guys.
Oh, yeah. Nice guy, Andy. Okay,
Nice
so he
guy.
fits right in here.
That's me. That's me. Yeah.
Love it. Okay, so I just got a couple more things to say about the cards, and then we can end that aspect of it.
All right, cool.
So the hearts represent spring, summer is hearts represent spring, fall is diamonds, winter is spades, and the clubs is summer.
Okay.
Okay, so on a calendar, the 12 months, you can see what each card is per the suits, and it will move like that. So the winter would start January 1st, technically, and that would be spades. And
So there's
all the spade cards.
13 weeks in that season.
Right.
Yes.
And that would be the spades.
Which would be winter from January 1st. And then once you move 13 weeks into springtime, then that's where you have the hearts begin.
You go to red.
And then you go back to black.
And then go back to black.
And then back to
Back
red.
to red, okay.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So everybody, at whatever day you were born, everyone has a card.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
So I was
Really?
born October 25th. Next Tuesday is my birthday. Yay.
Oh,
Happy early
happy
birthday.
36,
birthday.
guys.
Birthday.
Me and Sean have birthdays this month.
Yeah,
too.
we
Yes, I know. Happy belated, guys.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
I just turned
Libra season.
I just turned 42. So
42. I'm going to be 36. Woo. And this is actually a
42.
good year for me.
I'm 49. I just turned 49.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You
Oh
don't even
God.
look 49.
I know, man. I look. I
We're
know.
getting
really
old.
don't.
We're getting
Johnny's
old, man.
always kissing my ass. Thanks, John. That's what he's. That's his
Uh,
whole
thank you,
job.
Meg.
This
Megan.
job, man.
Taking the garbage out and kissing my ass.
thank you, Megan, for the birthday wishes.
Megan's cool. Like, where's she at?
Megan Nicole Desire.
Yeah.
She says happy birthday to you all.
Thank you.
Thanks, Megan.
We may have
Pirate
to get you on
says
this
his
show one
birthday
day.
is 420. Of course it is. Bobby Green's birthday is
I like
April
420.
26nd.
Yeah, me too.
To each their own.
So we're back to the cards still, and so
Okay, so
we all have
everybody has
a card.
a card when they're born. It's called
Okay.
a life path card. So I'll give my example for me because I don't know the dates off the top of my head. But for me, I'm October 25th, which is hearts because it's fall season, and I'm a 10 of hearts. And now that's the card that stays with me forever. That's the vibration that I'm vibrating in. Okay.
So would I be a 10 of hearts too?
No, because you're fall, you're a heart, but you're not. Actually, no, you're a diamond because that's the seasons doesn't really start until we hit the fall equinox aspect.
So
of
October
it.
11's a diamond?
I think so. Let me look. I'll tell you right now exactly
Okay,
what your
tell
card
me.
is.
Okay.
But so after you have this life card, you also have life path, like this life path card. You also have a 9 cards that correlate with the 9 planets.
Okay.
So you actually have a path that you're supposed to follow.
Oh,
And-
wow.
Yeah, and it'll tell you a
You're
lot
gonna
about
change my
your
whole life tonight,
Oh yeah,
Andy.
oh yeah.
She's going to change our whole lives today.
It
Yes,
really
she
is.
Oh, okay, let's look at
Bo-
you guys.
Our buddy Bobby Blade, October 13th. He just had one. Happy belated birthday, brother.
Happy belated
Birthday.
birthday.
Just turned 49. Bobby, you don't look a day over 67.
Bobby, just
He's
admit
our
it.
buddy.
You're
We
50
give him a
years
hard
old.
time.
Okay,
He feels
so
67. I'm sure he does.
we have October. What were you, 8th?
11th.
Who was the 8th?
He's
I
the
was the
You're
8th.
the 8th. Okay, so you are an ace of diamonds.
Ace of diamonds.
Ace
awesome.
of diamonds.
And you are the 11th, so you're a jack of clubs. Now, I'll show you why
Jack
this
of
happens.
clubs.
Because if you look how they lay it out,
Uh-huh.
this is how it kind of goes.
Wow, okay.
So everybody's cards are kind of all over, but the cards still correlate with the seasons.
Okay.
So
I'm a jack of clubs.
You're a jack of clubs. You're an
Ace
ace of
of
diamonds, and you are December
17th, 1989.
17. You're an ace of clubs.
Ace of clubs.
Nice. Okay.
So I'm a jack of clubs.
Anthony Presley said, I must be psychic too because I knew she was the 10, definitely.
Ah, yeah.
You sly fox, Mr. Presley.
Anthony got.
You sly fox, sir.
Oh wow,
love
Anthony's
that.
single, so
And he's got game too.
Yeah, that was smooth, Andy.
Look at you.
Oh, very nice.
Anthony. That wasn't me. That was Anthony.
Yep, that was Anthony.
Oh, sorry, I'm dinging over here.
Yeah.
But
Oh, you're good.
so everybody has a card, and then you have your life path card, or your path. You have your main card and
So-
your life path card.
Jack of clubs. What I mean,
So if we were to
what does that mean?
Let's go to that. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Look at you.
Yes.
So I'll just give you.
She just smiled big time. Yeah. What's that?
You're actually, which is funny.
Uh-huh.
The karma card for the 10 of Hearts is Jack of Clubs.
Okay.
So, but remember, I said
I'm
karma
not good
is
for
good or
you.
bad, though.
Yeah.
But it
Oh,
can be good or
okay.
bad. So this is something that is actually karmically tied.
We're comically tied to
And
each other.
because you're a Libra and my South Node, which is my past life, is in Libra, we are already tied, and it shows in both the deck of cardology and astrology that this is karmically tied.
Okay.
And we have a path in this life that we have to finish up, something that we didn't finish
Okay.
in a past life.
Okay.
So it's funny. That's why, and we're sitting here now doing that.
I know we're finishing our path.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Bone Break Action said, whose birthday is 420? I'm jealous. Pirates.
Pirate is bone breaking.
Oh, this one's a Queen of Club. Let's look at Jack. So Jacks are they are the jack of all trades. So whenever you hear Jack, they really mean the jack of all trades.
Okay.
Wow.
So you're a guy that's somebody of all trades, and you probably had a lot of different lives.
I have.
Or jobs, in your life.
I have.
Yes, you probably
when-
tried it all.
when
And you can probably
COVID
master it all.
When COVID happened, I was doing. I was bartending. I had a really good bartending job. I was making killer money, and then I had a furniture delivery business, and I was making really good money.
And
both of those.
that makes a lot of sense too, because they're both social.
Yeah.
Because even furniture, you have to deal with people, and clubs represents air. So we have the elements.
When I
air,
lost-
air is like talking and dealing with people.
When I lost that, I kind of went into a depression, and then I started this.
So look at you. You're the jack of all trades. You can literally
Yeah.
you can bounce back from anything
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah.
So always know that. Don't get discouraged ever.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to read this off to you and just give you an idea of
Okay.
how this works. Now, if anybody wants to look more into this, there is a website called thecardsoflife.com, and it has so much information on what these cards.
Cardsoflife.com.
Cardsoflife.com.
It'll
everybody.
explain everything and what these cards represent and all of that. There's also one, I'm going to shout her out, AquariusMaximus.com. She is the master cardologist. This is who I learned from, and
Okay.
she's amazing. So they actually started their own cardology. So before this, it was called cardomancy.
Cardomancy.
Yeah, and I believe in Greek or something, it means to see or divination or something like that. And so the new age aspect of it is cardology.
Cardology.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, okay. So we're going to read you.
Read me.
All right. So one bright idea after another. The Jack of Clubs is truly inspired mentally, multi-talented, and quite creative too. Activities like writing, speaking, acting, performing, and even problem solving comes naturally to them. Speaking, you see how you're sitting here doing
Problem
this?
solving is a big deal for me because I was like, I don't know how to podcast, and now we're doing it.
Yeah. So, and this is with clubs
Hey,
too,
Maddie.
it's all about mastering.
Yeah.
Because it's an air quality. So you have to learn to master like anything that has to do with logic and reason. And so this is something that you're naturally good at.
Oh, cool.
But so,
I'm good at something.
yeah, you are.
You really are.
You just now figured that out?
I know, really.
It took you this long?
All right, so they often enjoy mental gymnastics of solution finding, creating, and playing games and puzzles. Blessed with powerful reasoning skills and mental agility, this Jack of Deck loves learning something new and inspiring others with that knowledge.
Yeah,
Which
I do.
is why
I
you
try
create
to.
a space for,
I try to inspire people.
and which is why you're kind of reaching out past the wrestling. You're like, hey, I want to do more things. I want to bring in more people.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
where that kind of
we
comes
want to
from.
we want to bring our, and I want to help teach the wrestling community that there's other things to be interested in
Oh,
too.
absolutely. You can do more than one thing.
Yeah,
You know,
and if we bring all that in, and we can change wrestling and change the whole world, and we can
Imagine
yeah.
people knew their frequency and their card and knew their path and knew how to, okay, I have to do this, and this is going to get me the optimal result. It's going to get me the best result possible. I mean, we would be on fire here on this.
Mary and
Exactly.
Maddie,
Yeah.
Johnny's mom and his cousin Maddie, they both want their they want a reading.
Oh, absolutely. I will leave at the end of this. I will give you guys my website, and you guys can book with me, and we can do however you want to do it. Just, there's a part on my when you're booking, you can tell me if you want astrology, numerology, or cardology.
Maybe we'll have an event, because I can post an event on Facebook, and then we can charge people to
I
watch.
have a Square thing too. So if they want to come live,
Awesome.
I do it online. I do it live.
Yeah,
I do
guys.
recorded readings, whatever's comfortable to the client, because some people don't have time to sit there for an hour.
Yeah.
So I'll do them even recorded and send them like that. So
All right.
We'll set up a special event, guys, for that.
Anthony Presley would like to know what card is for July 8th.
let's take a look. Okay.
You're a 10, Anthony. Remember,
No, he said she was a 10.
she is a 10. Yeah, we could. Yeah.
That's right.
He was smooth.
Smooth operator.
Oh, is this the guy that's asking?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Anthony
That's Anthony
Presley,
Presley.
yeah.
He's the owner of New South Wrestling.
All right. What's his birthday again?
July 8th.
July 8th. You are a 7 of diamonds.
You're a 7 of diamonds.
Seven of
Mr.
diamonds. That's
Presley.
what I said earlier. Remember, I said
That's
seven
crazy
of diamonds. That's
you said,
crazy.
yeah.
I said
Yeah.
that, didn't I?
Yeah.
And diamonds represent values and relationships. Well, it's between the relationship of work and personal relationships. So that's what you're dealing with when you're dealing with diamonds, because it's the value of money or the value of the people that you connect with. And he has to balance between that his whole
Yeah.
life.
Yeah, he's
So-
he connects with people very easily.
And
Yeah.
he's very loving father too.
Yep. And,
Yeah,
that's what
he
his
doesn't
theme
go
will-
anywhere without his
and
children.
that's going to be his theme his
When
whole
he-
life, because he's about values.
When he comes here, his kids are in there, and the kids are cool.
That's fantastic.
They're pretty awesome
Oh,
kids
yeah.
to joke
We're
around
awesome.
and cut up
His
with.
whole family's awesome people.
That
Yeah.
made
Yeah.
a lot of sense right there.
For sure.
Yeah, he's very family oriented.
And that's what I mean. Like the
And
cards
he's
can tell you
not
about
paying
people
me to
like
say that about him. He won't go anywhere without his
I have
chill
to find out what the
children.
Ace of Spades is about.
Spades represents, is it Earth? Yes, it represents Earth element. So it's all about structure, stability. Spades is about grounding yourself. That's all the energy that you would be dealing with. So things on that level, the tangible, the material, the balance of life. So this might be why you're here, because you might balance these two Libras
He
out.
does. He actually
Yeah, he
balances
really
the-
does.
Which is that spade energy he
Yeah.
carries.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
like one of the best decisions I made was have him come. Like,
Yeah.
I just like
That's
me.
great.
I'm like the Wu way. I just like let things happen the way they happen. Just no effort. He comes in, and I'm like he's giving and giving and
Yeah,
giving.
he's Earth element.
Yeah.
He's going to regulate. He's like, okay, we got to structure
Yeah.
this, so it has to. Yeah,
He's been
yeah.
booking the shows.
Oh, yeah.
Giving. I tell him
Makes
who
a
I
lot
want
of
on the
sense.
show. He messages them. He keeps up. He's like my assistant, personal assistant too.
Yeah,
So
and aces are very powerful in cardology. They're the highest court card you can get, but they can also reduce to 1. So the thing with aces is you can be really aspiring, really like a good example for people, a good leader. Or if you get too about yourself because it reduces to 1, you can get really selfish and really about yourself. So that's what aces deal with. They have to learn how to be balanced between like being a leader, a healthy leader, or being a selfish, like, a dictator type of leader. So
You said I was a Ace of Diamonds for October 8th.
yeah, so you're same story for you, but yours is within values as well.
Within
'Cause
value.
it's
Yeah,
diamonds.
because
Diamonds is money. It's values. It's either you value relationships wholeheartedly or you value your money wholeheartedly. And because it's an ace, it's about
I think
you.
it's relationships because, when it comes to money, to me, it's a vulgar concept. Like, it just, like, I don't mind, working to make my money to pay my bills, buy my food, this, that, and the other.
That's the
Maybe
thing with diamonds. They're either really repelled by it, and they know they need it to survive, so they'll push it away and kind of get closer to relationships, or they'll be all about money and disregard relationships.
Yeah,
so that's the
I-
thing about diamonds.
I can't do that.
You're the opposite. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's
'cause you're a high
money.
ace, so.
Like, I don't like. Like I'll complain like, oh man, I hate that I have to work overtime at my job or whatever. I'd rather be with my family or doing something. And others are like, but you're making money. I'm like,
Well, ace
Yeah.
is
Money
about you,
isn't
too. It's
everything.
about what you really
like
desire.
I snapped off at a guy I worked with. We got along, never had a crossword. It's just like he's talking about money. He was one of the kind that values money over relationship, which, to each their own. He did that, and I just snapped off one day. I said, is that all you ever can think about?
You'd be surprised some people do. That's some people's vibration.
And I hardly ever say the F word. I don't like it. It really got to me. I was like, is that all you think about? Money.
Well, being a Libra also is about partnerships. It is about relationships, too, because that's the Libra energy. It's a balance between both.
I got my kids at home who are growing up with me just because they were at that age where they were in school. So I'd work nights, and they'd probably get like 2 hours or so when they got home from school to stay with me before I'd leave for work.
Right.
And my days off, I'm laying down resting. It's like, really, on my days off, I do not want to move. Like, I spent all week working, and I'm like, if the house is on fire, just leave the hot dogs and marshmallows next to me. I'll be good. I literally said that one day after working like 10 days straight.
That's hilarious.
I was beat. I was like, okay, if the house catches fire, just leave the hot dogs. Wake me up. Let me know where the hot dogs and marshmallows are. I'll be fine.
For sure.
Don't wake me up. And which it wasn't fair to the children. They understood, like, hey, bills were paid, works this, that, and the other. But it's just like, no.
I wonder where your Venus is now hearing you say that, because Venus in astrology rules over money, and it rules over love and material. So some people, depending on if their Venus is exalted or in its fall, might not like money.
All the planets, like a person has, their planets are in a certain alignment for their life.
Really,
Yes.
Rodney?
Yeah, so and the thing with that is that you have a set energy that you're born with. However, the Earth is still going. The planets are still spinning. So now you have energy in the day that you have to work against or you have to work with.
Yeah.
So those are called transits. So it's always ongoing. Like you can do readings forever because it's always changing and there's always a new theme.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with cardology. Even though you're born with a set of cards, every week has a card, every day has a card, every month has an energy, and it's constantly cycling.
So you believe that we're reincarnated. How do you know, like,
because
my
we're
past birthday?
I would not know your past birthday, but I would know what energy you're coming from. So looking at your South Node, looking at your Saturn, looking at your 12th house in astrology, these are, and the moon, this shows your past life energy. So I do that too. I give past life readings.
So is my birthday, is that also my death date of my past life? One of my past lives?
No.
So they're not stacked on top of each other?
No, absolutely not. I don't know.
Thank you for the stars, Mr. Presley. Sorry.
Oh, there's that little delay you were talking about.
Yeah.
It looks funny looking at that. But so I don't know how long it takes the soul to incarnate back, but there are some ancient information out there from ancient civilizations and people that believe, I believe it's the Indian people or India or somewhere like that. The Hindu. One of them, I think it's Hindu. I think
Hindu,
you're right.
yeah.
I think they say it's 49 days before the soul reincarnates back. And there's a science behind that.
Really?
Yeah, so it's all about energy again.
So you pass, then you have 49 days, and then you come back.
And then you incarnate back. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like an intermission.
And here's the thing. We pick that. We don't have to come back.
Oh, okay.
Every soul is picking to come back.
When do we pick that? Like, is there like a little
waiting
room somewhere?
Yeah, so we're with our soul groups and our guides. So if you guys ever heard of, what's the name of it? The book is called The Journey of Souls. I cannot remember who it's by. Let me Google this real quick. Get that book. I'm telling you right now. Oh my God, that opened up my world. Yes, it explains what happens after we die. And these are based on real case studies from a hypnotherapist. He took over 300-something people. Nobody knows each other. And he took them to back to their moments of near-death experiences.
Okay.
And he was able to do this through hypnosis. And everybody pretty much has the same damn thing about when they're dying and where they're going.
Okay.
It's pretty freaky. It's
so
a good book.
In this life, when I die, and then I have 49 days, and I'm with my.
If you pick to come back.
But after I pass, I'm in this little.
You're with your soul group again.
Soul group.
Yes, and you can. So apparently you can see the other.
Who's in my
groups.
soul group? Like
these are people.
Gods or.
No, so your soul group are other people that you're alive with in other lifetimes.
Okay.
So your mom in this lifetime was part of your soul group. Your main soul
She might not have been my mom in another group.
Exactly. She could have been your sister.
Okay.
She could have been your wife.
But are we always?
So we all come back and play a different role.
Is it the same soul group?
Yeah, so you're still associated with your soul group, but we do intermingle within other soul groups, which is why sometimes, no matter how much you try with someone else, if they're another soul group, it just won't connect.
Yeah.
They're not part of your soul group.
But you see somebody out in the public and you like, oh.
Man, I swear I've seen you before.
You were in my
They were
soul
probably
group.
in another lifetime with you, and they're probably in your soul group.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
and you'll meet
So
them throughout
my
life.
whole soul group, like in my soul group, I might not in this life might not connect with that person that's in my soul group.
You might not. They might be in a whole nother existence, because now we're talking about quantum physics, quantum leaping. People are in different realities.
My son's calling. Let me see what
ahead.
he has to say. Leon Lexton, you're on the podcast. We have Priscilla, the psychic intuitive astrologist. You hear us? Oh,
Busy. Yeah, I hear y'all. I was at work and I was busy, so I only been catching like the last 20, 30 minutes. But y'all are getting trippy up in there tonight.
I know, right?
Yeah.
We're going to we're studying the stars, man. We got
We're
numerology in here.
As Theo Vaughn would say, y'all are dabbling in the dark arts, baby.
Absolutely. Hey,
That's
he knows what
right.
that means. That's actually very, very real. That's what legalese and all that is too.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it all comes from the Latin, the dark arts.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
The Roman Catholic Church knows about this, guys.
Do you have any questions for her? He's one of the executive producers of the show.
Hello, nice to meet you.
I don't know. I have questions, but they're just out there. What is? I know this sounds crazy, but what does psychedelic drugs have to do with all this? Because that's the main base of my spirituality. A couple years ago was all the stuff that you were talking about kind of opened up for me.
We actually talked
when I was
about
doing
that.
psychedelics.
We actually talked about that a little bit earlier.
Yeah, we tied it all in. It's a vibrational thing, so that's opening up the worlds for you, so you can see them on a different vibration.
Hello, Shelly Dawson.
That's real, because I feel that shit in my hands sometimes.
Absolutely.
I ain't about lie.
Yep.
I might be having a stroke, but I'm pretty sure that's what I feel is the vibration.
You are, yeah. That's vibration. Then we all are capable of it. We're all capable of seeing auras on people, reading people. They say that in a few years from now, about 20, 30 years, we'll all be able to hit telekinesis, just hear each other.
Oh, really?
And and I believe it, because we're
with Neuralink.
evolving. Yeah, Neuralink, exactly. And I think even past Neuralink, I think we will be able to do it automatically, because we are moving into the age of
You think we had that before and we lost it?
I think so with Atlantis, absolutely. With the Lost City of Atlantis, I feel like we got to that point and somehow we did something wrong and the gods were like, nah,
Reset
not too
this.
soon. Let's reset this shit. And that's what we're in now, the Great Reset again. We're going through that cycle again.
Okay, so you said something about us being in the age of Aquarius?
Yeah, so we're actually in between from we're leaving the residue of the Pisces era right now, moving into the age of Aquarius.
Yeah.
And we'll be like that for about 2,000 something years because of the cycles. And then we'll go again. And we'll move into the next sign, which would be Capricorn.
Okay, so we were talking about your soul groups.
Oh yeah, so it's called
Leon,
Journey of Souls by Michael Newton.
Get back into this, and thank you for calling.
All right, y'all be safe.
All right,
You
buddy,
too.
thank you.
Appreciate
See you later.
All right,
So-
Bobby Blade has a question. Speaking of soul groups, so with souls associated in your soul groups, kind of explain how deja vu works. Thinking you've seen someone before, or am I off
Or
base?
you've lived it out before. Yeah, so
Yeah.
a lot of our dreams have to do with living things out before actually experiencing something in life.
Yeah.
Or you're already lived that same scenario out in another lifetime. So absolutely, yeah. So all of it is memory.
Yeah, I've
Cellular
experienced
memory.
that. I've had dreams. I had a dream one night. I'm just sitting on the floor, leaning up against the couch, instead of sitting on the couch like anybody with a lick of sense, but I was a kid at the time.
Right.
And I purposely,
You were controlling your dream?
I don't know, I'm in my dream and I'm sitting, but in my dream, I see myself sitting there eating grapes.
Wow.
I had a bowl of grapes and I'm sitting there eating
So
them.
you might have astral traveled into another, timeline, and saw
wow.
yourself. Because we can do that too in our dreams.
Yeah,
We can travel.
because I'm sitting there, and I'm sitting there eating the grapes and
You know how they say life is but a dream?
Yes.
I believe that we're actually dreaming, and then when we die, we're actually is when we wake up.
wow.
Oh, wow.
I think it's the opposite of what they tell
That's
us.
deep.
Yeah, that is very deep. Guys, we're not we're here just talking about all this stuff. We're not trying to tell you anything that
No. This is
your
literally
religion's-
just my belief.
just-
I don't judge anybody on anything.
your religion's, you believe in what you want to believe in.
Everybody's journey's on their own.
But try to
pace.
keep an open mind, and we're just discussing things
Gentleman
today.
roll, I 100% believe that I've experienced that I dreamed something and shortly after it happened. Yeah, that's kind of what we're getting at
Yeah,
here, Joe.
I've had that happen a lot in my life,
It's-
especially as a little kid. I was a lot more in tune as a kid, of which I think all of us are,
Yeah.
because we're not so brainwashed heavily yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I know as a child, I was able to astral project.
Yeah.
I would see shadow people as a kid. I mean, it was ridiculous.
Me,
Like,
I'll just like connect with people. Like all of a sudden, I'll see somebody and I connect with. Like me and you, like we like one day we just met. Like I don't even remember how we met.
You know what? I was saying that today. I was
Yeah.
like, I have no idea how I met
I
this
don't
guy.
know
but
either.
I know I'm going
like
on his podcast.
I think one day we were just like, I think we just started texting each other somehow. I don't know.
Do you
like,
remember? 'Cause
I
was
don't
gonna
remember.
Ask you. That's crazy.
What's
I
up,
don't
Brian
either.
Holt?
Yeah, I don't remember. Like, but I remember texting you and talking to you, and that you. I don't remember how we like.
Me neither. And then
Yeah.
because we weren't
Like,
even
this is the
Facebook
first time.
friends yet.
Yeah, this is the first time in person we've met.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So, but I feel like I've known you forever.
That's
already.
crazy, right?
Yeah.
How that connects. Like,
Exactly.
yeah.
I've experienced deja vu before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The strip club.
Yes.
He said, yeah,
Maybe.
with her, that one right there. Yeah, if I gave you a laugh.
Yeah, we understand what you're talking about. Yeah, like just like saying like, oh, I've experienced like I've been here before. I've done this before.
We
like,
have, and that's
Yeah.
why we
Yeah.
have deja vu and so strongly, and we're like, and that's why a lot of things are already natural for us. Some people have like natural talents and things.
Yeah.
They've already lived it. They already mastered
So
it in another
do you,
life.
do you think that we live this life over and over again, or is it like we've been in past history, or we live this life
Past
10
history.
10 times over?
We are our ancestors as well.
Okay.
We all have a part of them.
You know-
our cellular, our cells, literally, and this is science.
Yeah.
Our cells have memory.
Yeah.
They don't forget things, so
Me-
they literally have memory from all of the incantations that you've lived.
And our DNA has memory too.
Absolutely.
So, and I have a theory of how people like don't do good in school because like
It's
my
programming.
my ancestors were in Ireland, you know, like, and I speak whatever language they were speaking over there,
So
Celtic.
you're like learning this stuff. You're like,
Yeah.
huh?
Celtic.
This is foreign to me. Yeah.
Yeah, so,
absolutely.
like, my-
Anthony Presley's got a good one. He says, souls find each other. Maybe you knew each other in a past life. How you guys just recently, you
Yeah.
know, just started talking.
Yeah, we've
and
known
you
each
act
other.
like you've known
Us
each other
three,
for
we have.
years.
For
yeah,
sure.
we've
That
known
shows
like
Anthony
we've known
Presley.
each other for a year
Well-
or so, like a year and a half or so already. But
But our souls have known
Yeah.
each other for, we might have
Longer.
actually, yeah, we've probably lived another life
Yeah.
around together as friends or whatever the case.
It
yeah,
also
exactly.
shows that Anthony
That's
Presley's
what
in tune.
that's what he's getting at. Because
Yeah.
how you guys can just like start talking and,
And it
it's
just
like
flows.
Yeah.
it's like you've
And I can see that in the charts. If I was to take your chart and mine and compare it, put them on top of each other,
Yeah.
I can see how our planets and stuff are connecting energetically wise.
wow.
And I can look into the past houses, the past life house, and see, oh, okay, we had this theme together in another life.
I'm gonna be one of these astrologists at some point. I can see.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Hey,
gonna learn this
it's-
hence
stuff.
that
It's growing.
hence
that's
that
the wave of the
jack of clubs.
Huh?
Where you're the jack
Yeah,
of all
he's the
trades.
jack of all trades.
Jack of
Because
clubs.
you-
will
you're adding
probably learn
another
it very
trade.
easily.
So-
Absolutely.
Let's learn this shit.
Absolutely.
Pretty soon you'll be a house. What's that called?
He's gonna be my little magician over here.
Well, that
Exactly.
too.
Oh.
Magic.
You forgot to read something, Sean.
What I
Anthony
forget.
Presley did something smooth. He said, "I'm dreaming.
I
I'm
saw
dreaming
that.
now,
I just didn't
right
read it
now.
out loud, Johnny.
He's dreaming now.
He can't look away.
Look at you. Anthony Presley.
Hey, I
Look
got
at you
the
trying to
man's
get a new
smooth.
Sly
baby
guy.
mama. I'm
And-
kidding. I'm kidding.
And he's also got game.
He does got game. He is a good guy.
That's right.
Okay, so we were in a okay. Where were we at?
I don't know. We said so much
sorry.
today. Whew.
No, right?
Hey,
So
We're learning.
we can talk a little bit about karma.
Karma. Let's
yeah,
do
let's
that.
talk
Yeah.
about that a little bit so people can get an understanding.
And
better.
Dharma.
And Dharma. Yeah,
And
let's do both. Okay.
But is Dharma
now,
like?
Dharma's supposed to be the positive energy, but the thing
Okay.
with Dharma is too good of something can spoil a person.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's the whole thing about balance in life.
Yeah.
You can have, so much karma that it actually makes that person better later on because they heed the lessons.
Yeah.
Or you can have someone that has so much dharma and they're just a piece of shit
Yes.
because they're just full of themselves because
Yeah.
there's no adversity in their life. So that's, that's pretty much how karma
Sure.
and dharma works.
That's how I try to live my life in the balance.
and you're supposed to,
yin yang is-
moderation is key for
Yeah.
everything,
Exactly.
But so if we're talking about karma, a lot of people are scared of it. The
Yeah.
planets that rule over karma are Pluto and Saturn. And Pluto rules Scorpio, and Saturn rules Capricorn, and in ancient astrology, it ruled Aquarius.
Okay.
Which
And
is-
we're in the.
We're in the age of Aquarius,
Okay.
and right now we have Saturn sitting in Aquarius.
And
right
what
now.
does that mean?
So what that means is that when Saturn moved into Aquarius, we saw the lockdowns. Boom.
Yes. Yeah.
Because Saturn is
It changed a
restriction.
lot of people's life. It changed my life
Yes,
completely.
and Saturn represents restriction and limitation. So as soon as Saturn moved into Aquarius, we had that 2020 lockdown. Like, boom.
Yeah.
And it stayed there for 2.5 years, and is actually getting ready to move out of Aquarius in March into Pisces. Right now, it's in retrogradation, so that's retrograde, like your friend talks about. It's an optical illusion. It's not really moving backwards, but it looks like that from our vantage point. So that's what that means. When the planet is going in retrograde, it's moving backwards, meaning that the energy has slowed down and started going backwards. So when
And
Saturn,
what does that mean?
So that means that whatever themes we were dealing with COVID from 2020 and, everything that happened since that Saturn went into Aquarius with, like, the collapse of, like, financial institutions and big CEOs stepping down.
Yeah,
And
that happened a lot.
we saw celebrities, like, being outed. Like, we saw so much happening when Saturn moved into Aquarius because Aquarius represents the collective people.
Yeah.
That's that energy. And Saturn represents, again, karma, limitations, restriction, and discipline. So what we're seeing is Saturn coming with the iron rod, like, hey, your time is up. I'm here to weigh your sins.
So
Like,
Saturn going into Aquarius is kind of like, it kind of explains like the quote unquote the Me Too movement.
Absolutely. Yeah. And
The-
there's
'cause-
obviously other components.
Because now we got
astrologically,
all
that play the role.
these celebrities who we've all thought, well, they seem like a nice guy, and then we're finding
And
out
now we're
they're
finding out
not.
Yeah, I don't
quite
know if
so
you guys
much.
heard about the Q stuff or whatever,
Yeah.
got into that. I mean, and
Yeah.
whether some of that's kind of like crazy,
Yeah.
a lot of that has a lot of validity. There's a lot of messed up, like human trafficking, and
Yeah.
we regarded these people as like amazing leaders, and here's the shadow side of them coming out.
Yeah.
Which is also Pluto. So Pluto's also been in Capricorn, which Saturn rules Capricorn, and Pluto's also karma. So we've had Pluto and Saturn really bringing out the big people's karma, because Capricorn is CEO energy also.
Yeah.
So
a lot of people step down. Like,
oh, absolutely, because Pluto's about transformation. So it came in and it was like, we got to transform some shit here, and people were like, I'm giving this up. I'm just gonna end this, because
Yeah.
Scorpio, which is ruled by Pluto, is endings and beginnings.
Yeah.
So we're seeing a lot of endings, and Pluto went direct October 8th, right before the full moon. So we're going to see a lot of more things dealing with Capricorn energy, which is CEOs, big banks, big businesses, and celebrities, all until the rest of next year, because Pluto doesn't move until 2024.
So you're thinking that a lot of people are going to be changing again?
Oh, we're going to see more of it. Right now, Pluto was sitting in that retrogradation, which was going backwards for a while, so things were behind the scenes. When things go backwards, it's more so behind the scenes. So now with Pluto going direct again on the 8th of October, we're going to start seeing some stuff again with big CEOs, big companies, leaders, and we have, what do we have in politics coming up? We've got the freaking elections coming up. So we're about to see a whole bunch of stuff again for the next year.
Yeah.
And then again, Saturn is pretty much doing its dance, and it moves direct on the 23rd of October. So we're going to see the last part of what Saturn's been kind of in the background weighing out with people, trying to like...
And then shit's going to hit the fan.
Yeah, again. And, until March, though, because Saturn moves
You
into
see-
Pisces, into a whole new energy now.
You don't see
a new
another
beginning.
lockdown or nothing coming, do you?
No, I do
Okay.
see a major collapse and change with money.
Really?
Yes. So,
Digital currency. Yeah.
big time. There's no getting around that. We got Saturn moving into Pisces. We have Pluto moving into Aquarius. Pluto's transformation. Aquarius is the collective. And right now we have Uranus in Taurus. Taurus is the energy that rules over money. Venus, because Venus rules Libra and Taurus.
Yeah.
And Taurus also represents the physical earth, the material. And having Uranus there, Uranus is about chaos. It's about shifting.
Yeah.
It's about, progressing the energy. So we're going to see a lot of change and a lot of progression centered around money,
Okay.
and how it affects us here on Earth. So,
And when will
Uranus
that
rules
change
Aquarius,
again?
which is robotic stuff.
So how long do we have that going on?
Honestly, I can see them introducing the idea of because we already had them introduce crypto and all that shit, right?
Yeah.
So I can see them introducing this digital money idea, let's say, towards the middle of next year.
Really?
We'll start hearing about it earlier, but I
Yeah.
think we're going to start seeing that real like, hey, we got to change.
Well,
this
they
money
started
system.
trying to change that during COVID too, because they said there was a coin shortage and
Yeah, it was all. It was just them testing the waters.
yeah, you had
because
people
we have
that
a major
wasn't
shift
taking
coming.
cash because of the currency.
Yeah, 2024 I think will be completely different for us collectively on the masses level.
Yeah.
It's
So you won't have
major transformations.
we won't have many dollar bills in our pockets anymore.
If we do, it's going to be useless. They're going to be like, hey, trade it in, like how they did in the 19 whatever when the banks or whatever were like,
Put
hey,
it in this machine and you're going to
put
get
all your stuff in the savings here, and then they lost everybody's money. And
put it in the machine, and for your dollar, we're going to give you 90 cents.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or they might entice you and be like, well, give us $1, we'll give you 3.
Well, I think it's what they want to do is they want to be able to charge you like a ATM charge every time you do something, a new charge.
Well, I don't know if you've seen what China does. They do a credit system, but it's about your how you act in society.
Yeah.
I forgot what that's called. They have a term for it, but I think that's coming
Social
here too.
credit.
There you go, social credit.
Yeah.
We're going to see a lot of that too in 2024 here.
Yeah.
So they're setting the path for that right now.
Oh
So,
wow. How can we stop all that?
honestly, I don't think that we can as a collective, because that's what the age of Aquarius deals with, because Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, and Aquarius is the AI energy. It's the transhumanism. It's the robotics. It's rules over technology and computer and progression and advancement and genius. Uranus is a genius energy. So genius is correlated to tech stuff, and robots. So, and it's all
So we're
about
all gonna
making
become
humans
immortal.
Bingo.
They want us all
Aquarius
to
is the
become
man astrologically, and Uranus is its ruler that deals
Aquarius
with technology.
is a man.
It's the man in astrology, and Uranus, its ruling planet, which is its new age ruling planet, is technology. So what do you have there? Man and technology.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mind blown.
Yeah. Johnny's mind's blown. His head's always in Uranus anyway.
I think we're talking about our gopher.
Dude, he sounds like my brother. You're such a Libra. My brother's a Libra, I promise. And he's always talking about Uranus in your ass or something. I'm like, dude, are you gay? Like, sorry to all the people out there that are like that.
There's nothing wrong with that. If there
Nothing
is,
wrong with
absolutely not.
Nothing
I'm
wrong with
bisexual,
Pluto
so
being in Uranus.
Bone break action.
hey,
said no
Pluto
lock
rules
yet.
the genitals astrologically. That's hilarious.
Pluto does. Wow. See, I'm
No
already
bone
good at
breaker.
this.
Good, naturally.
I'm already good at this astrology stuff. Look at you.
You really are.
Shit.
Bone break action said
Joe
no.
Monroe said then soon we'll have something like Skynet, and he's not joking.
Oh my gosh, I read all about that too. My goodness, yeah.
Well, Elon Musk he's already got that hooked up, don't he? Yeah.
And it makes sense, he's a smart guy.
Yeah,
And
he's really smart.
He's got Mars. Mars is your action planet, and he has it in Aquarius. So it makes sense that he's all
So
futuristic.
what is the deal with him trying to go to Mars? Like, is that some kind of astrology thing that he thinks that he's going to be?
He's a futurist. He's got his Mars in Aquarius, so he's all about progression in the future and tech stuff. Like,
so
that's who
tell
he
us,
is.
like, what?
I have Mars in Aquarius too.
Yeah. So can you tell us, like, what Mercury means, Venus means?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So let's start with the sun. So the sun, which everybody knows, is your ego. It's your vitality. It is your life force. That's all it is. So when people are like, "Oh, I'm a Libra," for instance, tell me all about it. I'm like, I can't.
I got a sun tattoo right here.
Well, you're silly.
I do. I have a sun tattoo right here on my chest.
I need to get some astrology stuff.
Like,
I don't know going on.
what is the Lorix? Like they had the little, and the guys would put the stars on their bellies.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
now
me.
you got the sun right there.
That's me. I had a star on my belly.
I like that though.
I had a
scar.
scar.
Sun technically is a star too.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, so we have the sun, which is it's not about, you can't say, oh, for me, I'm a Scorpio. Oh, I'm a Scorpio. Tell me all about yourself. I wouldn't know, because like I said, everybody has a fingerprint up there and it's so distinct. So it's not like I can break it down.
So just
with one.
being a Scorpio doesn't mean you got to know where your Saturn was and where your Mercury was.
Yeah, because the sun is only the life force. It's the life force that you fell under. So I fell under Scorpio energy. Yeah. You fell under Libra. You fell under Sagittarius. Okay, so this is our life force, and it's what we desire to be in life. Okay, the sun. Now that's why it's tied to your ego, because your ego doesn't always know what the hell you want, but we think we do because our egos are like big,
Yeah, yeah.
Get it? Okay, so that's the sun, and then the moon represents your internal world, your inner world. It's you behind closed doors when you're by yourself with the people you love that you trust. So this is the person that you don't show the world. That's what the moon means. So it's your inner emotions. Mm-hmm.
So the moon.
So it's you when you're like talking to yourself in your head.
The moon is me inside my brain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's you. It's a personal, and it's you that's comfortable at home. that you won't show the world, because the home is, that's like our shell, which is ruled by Cancer. And what does the crab do? It sits in its shell and it feels comfortable in its shell.
Yeah.
It goes away into its shell when it feels afraid.
That's
what do
why
we
I
do?
don't
We go
like
home.
going out.
Yeah.
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 That's what I really don't like going out most times. I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You might have some type of, energy that makes you like that, makes you more internal. Your moon might be powerful as to why you're more, internalized. So, and you can see that too.
And why would his moon be more powerful?
Because he's looking at it from a interpersonal aspect. He's looking at it from inside out versus
So
most
does
people
the
who see it
time
from
you're
outside in.
born have to do with the moon?
Absolutely, because
Okay.
you can have a day chart or a night chart.
Okay.
And you then that represents what planets are more powerful for you
Yeah.
versus, the ones that are representative of day and night.
So when you asked us about what time we were born, that has to do with the moon.
That does with all of the planets. Yes, that's
Oh.
why I
yes,
asked
I
the
do go
tan.
out to wrestling, Mr. Presley.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
So
We really do.
But other than that, I try not to leave the house if I can help it.
Yeah, we gotta look at your chart. Gotta see why. There's
Yeah.
a lot to you.
yeah, he's deep.
You
I'm
can
sure.
tell. You can tell. You
Yeah.
probably have a lot of plutonic energy. You don't even know it.
Plutonic.
Scorpio.
Okay.
Yeah, Scorpio people are very deep. That's the most intense, deep sign astrologically. They do a lot of probing within and probing through people. That's why a lot of people don't like Scorpios. A lot of people don't like me.
Oh, really?
They either love me or they hate me, and it's because I am a very probing sign.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
So you find out
see
my
through
sign
your
and
freaking
you're gonna look at me
Oh
and
yeah,
gonna see
I'm
through
gonna
the
radar you.
bull.
We X-ray people.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
wow.
and it's a natural gift, so it's something that corresponds with Scorpio.
That-
and every sign has its own
That
natural
could be
gift.
why I know when somebody's full of shit or not.
Yeah, you
and
probably
if
can
I-
tell. So
like,
Scorpios can tell me
you-
where I'm lying.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know a lot of people full of shit.
Yeah.
That's right.
And then a lot of us too, even without being a Scorpio, we read the subtles in people. So sometimes we can hear, and we don't realize that we're doing this, but we can hear the lies, because they have a different tonality. And even though we don't have a way to describe it, we were never taught this, we naturally do it. And we don't realize we're doing
Yeah.
it because we're not taught this stuff,
I think I can do that.
Yeah, a lot of us can. A lot
Yeah.
of people.
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
I mean, I can always tell when someone's bullshitting.
Yeah.
Just like at work, I can tell if somebody has a big pocket of money or not. I'm like, oh yeah, yes you do.
This
Stop
guy's
by. Let's
bullshitting.
go.
Yeah. The guy that's wearing the
I'm gonna
old
get it.
the guy that's wearing the old sweater, he's probably got a pocket full of money.
Oh yeah, I can tell when someone comes in there looking like a bum and he's filthy rich.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I'm not
Yeah,
dumb.
the guy that has the big expensive watch on don't have shit.
guy comes
Exactly.
in-
That's how it is in life,
Yeah,
right? People
exactly.
are always
Yeah.
freaking stunting.
The guy comes in looking like that, but then you go outside, he's got a nicer car than anybody here
Yep.
or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's because people with money, they're not going to show that. Well, if you're smart, they're not. They're gonna
Yeah.
hide that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, when you have something, you don't have to flaunt it. You know,
You don't have to prove anything.
yeah,
What
you
do
don't have to prove it. Yeah,
You already have it.
yeah. It's almost like, hey, yeah, it's almost like when they find out, they're going to be wild anyway. So
That's true.
Yep, absolutely.
yeah,
Okay, so after the moon, we have. Let's go into Mars.
okay,
Mars is the action planet astrologically. It rules over desires. It rules over sex. It rules over the action. It rules over anger and war. It's a red planet. So think of anything that's like hot. And, so anger is hot. Action is like hot and, it's moved. And because it's a planet that moves really fast, I think like every 3 days, it's your action because we're
Really?
constantly moving.
it moves every 3 days.
In the sky.
Oh, really?
So all the planets are moving within the constellations,
Mm-hmm.
and they're always in that orbit. Now you have different systems of astrology. So I am a Western tropical astrologer.
Okay.
The reason for that is because I do my astrology off of the ecliptic, versus you have sidereal and Vedic astrology, and they do it off of the constellations. And the difference is because of the tilt. Our Earth.
So they do it off the sun, and you do it off planets.
Yes. So no, I do it off the ecliptic, the ecliptic line.
Okay.
So where the planets are orbiting through, because the planets never move from that rotation as they're spinning. They
Okay.
stay within that ecliptic. But our Earth ended up tilting not too long ago. I can't remember exactly when, but we tilted on our axes. And when we tilted, we had these other systems develop because they wanted to stay within the constellation. This is why NASA's like, oh, you're not this, you're this, because we have
Okay.
Ophiuchus
Yeah, I remember
now.
they did that.
Ophiuchus is always in the sky. It's always been there. But
Yeah.
in ancient times, our planets didn't orbit through it. Now the planets look like they're orbiting through it. They are because of that tilt. But we as tropical astrologers, I'm still going on that ecliptic because the ecliptic line has never changed. It moves
Yeah.
with the Earth.
As long as you tilted a little bit, but you didn't change the rotation.
No, I'm still
so
using
there's
the
like
same
a
system.
level. That
Absolutely.
They're not like.
absolutely. And for me, it makes sense because this is the most ancient astrology system. I don't want to use the other ones. And there's nothing against it. And it doesn't mean it doesn't work. It still works.
Yeah.
But to me, it's more so, it doesn't work with how I look at things, okay? You know, from my perceptual point, from my vantage point, and how I tie in all of the arts. I can't tie it in if I'm using the other ones.
Exactly.
So, plus I don't want to learn an extra zodiac sign and shit. Come on now. And I'm not going to change. I'm Scorpio. I'm not going to be freaking auspicious. That's what I would
I've always been Libra. I don't want to be anything different.
Yeah, none of us do, right? So, and that's okay for the people in Eastern world because in India and over there, they use Vedic and sidereal. And that's also because of where they are positioned on the planet. They're in an area where that makes more sense. We're in the Western world. That's why it's called Western tropical astrology. So for us, it's the ecliptic makes more sense.
You read something funny?
Yeah, Mr. Presley goes, her name is Priscilla, right? Yes, my last name is Presley, LOL. Just saying.
That's awesome.
Maybe a past life thing.
You know that Priscilla means ancient wisdom.
Okay.
Wow.
Ironically, and that's my name.
Oh, wow.
And all this freaking ancient wisdom I have. Yeah, right? I was like,
Wow.
what? When I learned it, like, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, thanks, Mom.
That's awesome.
yeah, for sure.
And once again,
yeah.
he's being smooth.
And you know,
Yeah.
He's trying to be smooth, Mr. Presley.
He's trying to make me a Presley.
He is kin to Elvis, I think. He is, I think. I think he told me that.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, and there was a Priscilla
he
then, too.
He did
so,
tell us.
yeah.
Yeah, Priscilla, Presley. Yeah, Priscilla.
Was
yeah.
that his daughter, right?
No,
No,
Priscilla was his wife.
His
right?
wife,
Lisa
yeah.
was the daughter?
Married her. Priscilla.
Lisa Marie was the daughter. Named a
That's right.
She
named
married
the
That was
airplane
Michael
after
Jackson, right?
She
yeah.
married
her. Yeah,
Michael
she
Jackson.
married
Yeah,
Michael
yeah.
Jackson.
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking of Michael Jackson, 10 hearts.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Interesting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so if you look at the celebrities that have your card, by the way, you can kind of understand your vibration.
Me and Cardi B have the same birthday.
And so you guys have the same card.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
and she's the jack of all trades if you think about it.
Yeah.
So
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
there you go. You're right.
Awesome.
She's a jack of clubs. You're right. Yeah.
And I'm gonna learn how to dance like her.
You gotta go get a big butt first.
I know, right?
A
wop.
Oh God!
Hey, I love her. That's my.
I'm
spirit
going to
animal.
imagine
Yeah.
that. I'm going to
She's
imagine
awesome.
him.
She's
I'm
great.
going to
I love
imagine
her.
him
I like
trying
her.
to
I'm like, I
dance
love
like
her.
Cardi
No,
B.
I love her. She's got my birthday. I love her.
Yeah,
Cardi B
I love
rules.
that. Her personality is just amazing. She's just everywhere and just all things.
Yeah,
And I like that. And I like that she doesn't back down.
Yeah, exactly.
Could there-
She's an Aries moon, though. She's not.
Maybe there
gonna
could
back
be a
down.
thing why I like the older type, classic music. Like I like music that I grew up on. I
I
can't.
wonder if your Saturn is exalted. You know what? I'm tired of guessing. Give
Okay.
me your birth information.
Okay, I
Let's
will.
look-
read
let's look
this.
at your
I'm
chart
sorry.
real
I'm
quick.
not
Let's
trying
read
to.
this,
Like, he's like,
anus.
just shut him up. I'll check him. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm
She's
kidding.
gonna read Uranus.
That's right.
Let me drop my pants.
Now
Your,
my
Uranus is in
Clean
it
it up
retrograde.
first.
It might be. You never know.
Oh my god, you guys are hilarious.
You're welcome.
I'm looked up.
Huh?
Oh, he said look up John Lee.
All right, dear. What's your name again? I completely forgot.
Sean.
Sean.
Okay, I'm
Sean
really bad
John.
with names, guys. I'll remember that
Sean.
now.
Sean Johns. JAHNS.
And you are October 11.
October 8th.
Eighth.
You're
I'm the
11.
11th. Yeah.
Yes.
That's right, Cardi B. And what year are you?
1980.
1980. Okay. And the hour you were born?
4:01 p.m.
Okay. I am an afternoon person too.
Awesome.
All right. 4:01 p.m. And you were born in the U.S.
Yes.
What city?
Hamilton, Ohio.
We won't hold that against him.
We really won't.
I can't help it when my parents got pregnant with me. I'm sorry.
Old hi ho.
All right, Ohio. Where are you at? Where's the O?
Explains why he shakes his booty.
All right.
Got
Do
it,
you
we're
know the
coming.
county? Because there is two of here. There's a Butler County and a Monroe County.
Butler County.
Butler.
But like
That's
Uranus.
like my Uranus.
Oh, good Lord.
It's just like walking right into those.
I am. No, I'm not walking. I'm flat out running. 100 miles an hour. Just flat.
All right. Oh, I knew it. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, okay. Oh,
From
wow.
that statement, your Saturn is in Libra, and Saturn is exalted in the sign of Libra because it weighs out the scales, the time of people.
Okay.
Wow. And if you
So
look,
tell us what that
your
means.
Saturn is in Libra,
My Saturn's in Libra.
which is why you like classical music, why you're so reserved, why you probably are very serious, your nature.
He
your
is. He's the
rela-
most serious one on the show.
Oh yeah, and you can tell in your energy, and you're probably like this in your relationships with people. You're probably come out as like the wisdom guy, or the one that everybody like comes to for advice.
He's
or,
the-
or
he's the
he's
wrestler.
solid.
I
the
do-
His
structure.
nickname is the Encyclopedia on here. 'Cause
Yeah,
he
the
knows-
Wrestling Encyclopedia.
He knows all the
I know a lot
facts.
about that, and I
Saturn
do got
Libra.
friends that will text me all the time, and if they need somebody to talk to, I'm there, and they're like my best friends. I can't.
Well, you have it in the 8th house, so I'm wondering if you've dealt with a lot of people that have had deaths in their lives, and they come to you for like help
They do,
or to feel better about it.
Wow.
Yeah. And me and Johnny are
Because
the
the
silly
8th house
ones.
is the house
Yeah.
of death and transition, so you help people transition through that.
Sometimes me and him are so
I try
silly
to.
that we get on his nerves.
Yeah, they did. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
But it's
he's
all-
serious.
Like, the show is silly.
Yeah.
He's like, we're trying to be serious. I'm like, the
I'm
show
trying
is
to
a
talk
comedy show.
something, and they're just come in with something. So I'm like, stop it.
So if we look at this, your Saturn, it's not completely conjunct because for me, I use a 5-degree orb, meaning that it has to be 5 degrees within that sign.
Yeah.
Your Saturn's at 2 degrees and your moon is at 12, so it's close enough. It's about 8. Well, that's a little bit more than that.
Yeah,
Whatever,
give or
okay.
take.
So it was funny looking at that because you said how you like to be home a lot, and that
Yeah.
makes sense because Saturn wants you to be reserved at home, restricted from other people. You rather be one-on-one with someone versus a crowd.
Yeah,
So-
I
That's
don't
right.
like Mr. Presley said, I will go to wrestling with I'll go with these guys to wrestling. We have fun. We're networking, trying to get eyes on our podcast. I don't like to leave the house unless it's for work.
Work.
Or
Saturn.
like-
Saturn's about structure, business.
Yeah, right. Like I don't like to leave house unless it's for work, or if I have to do something. If I have to leave the house, like to go to the grocery store to get food. Thank now for Uber Eats and DoorDash and stuff like that. I don't have to do that a lot
Oh,
of times.
he probably had a blast during COVID.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, lockdown, sure.
Lock it down.
Sadly, I worked the entire time.
Yeah, I did too.
Oh, you were what do they call it?
An essential worker.
Me too,
Essential
I was too.
worker. Oh, really?
Yeah,
I work at UPS.
Too bad.
I
dancing
don't
wasn't
like,
an essential.
I don't like to leave the house, but I can't just stay there all the time. Like I do have to leave for work,
Gotta
or
venture out.
occasionally I'll go out for a walk around the block.
Can you do mine?
Yeah, so we don't have your time. Oh, we do. We have a speculated time. So I
Speculated.
don't want to do it on a
I have
speculated.
my time.
He's
can
got his
do
time.
yours
You him
too.
then. I'll find my.
We're going to do you right now.
We'll have
So,
you-
just so you know, your big 3. So the big 3 is very important, guys. That's
My
your
big
id,
3.
ego, and super ego in psychology. In astrology, it's your moon, rising, and sun.
Okay.
Okay, and they represent your ego, super ego, and your id. Your rising is in Aquarius, your sun is in Libra, and your moon is in Libra. So
Wow.
these are your energies that make up your personality, your main id, ego, and super ego.
So he's super Libra.
Yeah, he's more Libra than anything because he has a stellium, which means he has more than 3 planets in that house. He has 4.
Yeah.
And you have 2 of your personal planets, sun and moon, in that house. So you are Libra through and through with an Aquarius flare, which is right on time for the age of Aquarius.
Nice.
Cool. So that, it explains him completely. It really
Yeah,
does.
And
It really
that's
does.
just the surface. I go
Yeah,
so
it's
deep
just
in this.
Oh, do you go deeper?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Uranus.
Deeper into Uranus, Betty.
Hey-o. But
Next
wow,
time.
just
So
that
all up in
little
Uranus.
bit. Like just that
deep, baby.
little bit. You just
Do Johnny now. He likes
All
stuff in
right,
his Uranus.
Johnny, let's do Uranus. All right. So you are a male and you were born December 17th.
17th.
Okay. I think you have the same birthday as my baby daddy.
I have got to use the little.
What is it?
I've got to use the little boy.
I think he has the same birthday as my baby daddy.
Oh yeah, yeah, Johnny.
Yeah, but you know,
We don't
I know
like
that
her
not
baby
two
daddy.
Sagittarius are the same, so you're good. What's your year?
Is 1989.
89. You're younger than me. Or no, you're older than me. No, you're not. You're younger than me. 89. What am I saying?
He's a baby.
You're a baby. Okay, what time were you born?
6:01 p.m.
Okay. 6/18/01 military time. And you were born where?
I was born right here in Lexington, Kentucky.
Lexington, Kentucky. I love Kentucky, by the way.
Oh, Kentucky's awesome.
I am from Chicago. So.
Oh, you was born in Chicago?
Yes,
I love Chicago.
Oh, hell no, that shit is frozen
love
tundra,
Chicago.
man. You're crazy.
Oh, I love Chicago in the summer, I guess.
Yeah, not no more. You have to dodge bullets.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
downtown.
if you
When
guys
I
think they're killing here,
Yeah.
you should see my freaking Facebook.
when I
my
go
newsfeed.
downtown Chicago and go over
Yeah.
to the lake.
Yeah, it's
know.
still like that there now too.
Yeah.
Like,
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, summertime. Like the Taste, they had some shootings. Like it's crazy now. You
Really?
can't really go anywhere.
Wow.
It's gotten really bad.
I haven't
out
been
there.
in about a year, probably.
I feel like post COVID, everything just got so bad.
I've been there since COVID.
It got so bad. Like,
It really
well,
did.
maybe because they're doing a lot of gentrification too. They're changing a lot of like the ghetto parts, and they're moving them in. Like they're moving them more north and more inland because they're trying to take. I don't know what they're doing. But
I was down.
it's disturbing the city.
Downtown Chicago and loved it. I had a great time.
It's beautiful. There's
yeah,
a lot
it's beautiful.
to do.
Yeah.
Okay, my dear. So you are a Sagittarius sun with a Cancer rising, and your moon is in Virgo. Oh, I can see that Virgo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Virgo represents being meticulous. So you could potentially, because you have it in the third house of communication and learning, you're probably very meticulous about how you learn. Probably very shrewd about how you learn, how you communicate. And your emotions could be probably, when you're dealing with women,
Yeah.
you could probably be very critical or maybe nag a lot or seek out perfectionism in your relationships.
That's not. No, that's not how I do it.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it says. Maybe that you don't notice it.
He's not very picky, is what he's saying.
Yeah, so Virgo's very, very picky. They're very, and because it's your moon, it's about your emotions. So you might be picky as far as who you're dealing with. They might have to match your emotions completely. You're not going to just be with anyone.
Yeah. Okay.
Basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of
And
like
then-
now. You're not just with anybody right now. You're
Yeah,
just waiting
because
for
he's
that
very
one.
picky on who he's going to be with.
Yeah, that
and they have
one.
to communicate right. They have to know how to. So Mercury's the brain. It rules the mind.
Okay.
And that rules over Virgo. So Virgo is very big on, having information correct, having everything orderly, which is why he probably handles all that stuff for you guys also. He's the orderly person.
He really is.
Yeah, and Virgos are very about having everything in its order. They're the sign of servicing other people. So you probably have a lot, if it's not just women, but you probably have a lot of people that might dump their emotions on you, and they want you to help them navigate it. And you probably deal with having to navigate a lot through your emotions and make them very methodical, because Virgo's about being methodical. It wants everything concise.
Yeah.
So you're not really
I get what you're saying.
You're not really vibrating on an emotional level. You're more so vibrating on a logical scale. So everything has to be logical.
He's very logical.
Yes,
He really
which
is very logical.
how he would deal with women. He's not going to deal with some emotional ass woman that's
Yeah.
and he'll probably, if you did deal with somebody who was very emotional, you would be really just constantly nagging at them, because you'd probably be like, huh, why are you emotion over logic? Get that shit
Yeah,
in check.
because when my Facebook went down, I was like, "Fuck it, let's quit. We're
and
done."
he's like, no, let me
No,
get all
he's
this
like,
in order
dude,
for you.
yeah, just chill. We'll get it back together.
That's your
That was
Virgo.
him. He was there. He was my rock. He was like, okay. He calmed me down, and I was like, yeah,
I
we can do that.
understand.
And the third house being communication, that's what you're doing right now. You're working within communication right here.
Yeah, we
So
communicate. Yeah,
your
he's-
moon is there, so this really satisfies your inner world for you, because you get to participate in something where you're communicating, where you're getting the flow of information out, where you're getting it done concisely, and you're helping others. You help him, with this.
Oh, he helps me
podcast.
big time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then, so having your Cancer rising, you are a Cancer in the first house. So a lot of people say that you're not your sun sign, you are your rising sign. And the reason for it is because the first house in astrology, I don't know if you guys can see that right here. This house right here represents your physicality, your physical being, who you are. And the rising sign is how other people see you, that you might not notice. This is how you come off to others. So you're not going to come off as your Libra sun. You're not going to come off as your Sag sun. You're going to come off as your rising sign. And your rising sign is Cancer. So you would come off as probably very, Cancer is also, like I said with him, it's like the home. If you think of a Cancer, a crab, he goes into his shell, right? So you can deal with big businesses also, being a CEO if you wanted to. You probably dreamed of that, being your own boss or something, because Cancer deals with that. It's the opposite of Capricorn. And because of that, you have your opposition in Saturn in the house of partnerships and Cap. So you deal with a lot of collaborating with people for business, which makes sense why you're sitting here. In your relationships, having Saturn and Cap too, it seems like there's a lot of restriction there. Sometimes having Saturn in the 7th house can mean a later marriage. You might not get married anytime soon. Or if you did get married, a lot of divorces, a lot of breakups. Really hard time on really stabilizing relationships, because for you, it's got to be disciplined. It needs to be orderly. It needs to be structured. It needs to be stable. You're not going to just get into a relationship with someone that's going to bring imbalance, basically.
Well, here's I forgot that I have.
You
my
found
birth,
it?
I have my birth certificate over here. So is it on your birth certificate?
It should be. Some of them have them, some don't.
It says 11:30 p.m.
Moon
right?
also represents your mother, by the way. So your mom could have been
11:30
probably
p.m.
very orderly, maybe very critical, maybe very helped a lot of people. Probably very smart person. 'Cause Virgos are smart. Let's be real.
So it says I was born at 11:30 p.m.
You were way off.
Yeah, I was.
You almost gave me the wrong time. You'd have been a whole nother person.
Well, I think on my that picture that I have,
It's not his fault.
It says 11:10.
He forgot.
Sometimes he forgets.
So 5th house Scorpio makes you very creative.
That's me.
No,
No,
talking about
that's
Johnny.
him.
Okay.
He has a 5th house Scorpio. The 5th house represents creativity. It's also the house of children, and it's the house of speculating. So
He's very creative.
yeah,
He's created.
having Scorpio in that house, I would think so. And you're probably very magnetic too. You can bring a lot of things into you because of that magnetizing energy.
He's created 2 characters for the show completely. Like he has a character called Fandito that's a luchador wrestler.
My twin brother.
His twin brother character.
Yeah, you can really do a lot there with transforming in the public eye too. The 5th house sometimes is the stage, so you can transform a lot like in that sense with your creative art. So you should really keep pursuing that because that's really lucky for you. Now, where's your Venus? Your Venus is in Aquarius, especially in this age of Aqua because Venus represents money and it's in Aquarius, which is in this time.
Yeah, he likes to put his Venus in Aquarius all the time.
So that'd be a good way to make more money because it's in your 8th house. And 8th house is like shared resources.
His creativity is going to make him money.
Yeah, he can and he can collaborate with people like that, and
Yeah.
you can really materialize things out of in that sense, and bring more money towards you then.
Yeah.
Especially in the age of Aquarius, having that.
He has his own YouTube channel and he has his own following on Facebook.
Yeah, like
and
I wouldn't
and
doubt if your
Instagram
ass
and
get
stuff.
big eventually one day because
Yep.
you have that 8th house Aquarius.
got a pretty big ass already, but
Why
I
you
didn't
looking
say
at
that.
a
He
guy's
said that,
ass,
and I did not
Andy?
mean-
hey, he's got a dump truck back there, baby. Badonkadonk over there.
Oh, good lord.
Okay,
Badonkadonk Johnny.
I'm going to do yours right now, but I wanted you guys to see this. There's this thing that shows an aspect grid, and this is what I mean about how the planets kind of correlate to each other. So my phone's kind of janky with
Yeah.
the stupid screen thing, but like if you see the sun and the moon for him,
Uh-huh.
he has the sun here and he has his moon here, and the way that they are touching, it makes a trine, which means that it's a trines are positive working energy. They flow very well together.
Triangle.
Triangles, yes.
Okay.
They're energies that flow just great together.
Yeah.
And the sun represents your dad and the moon represents your mom. So that tells me that your mom and dad could have had a good flowing relationship. They got along, basically. When I see squares there, I can see power struggles between mom and dad. If I
Okay.
see oppositions there, I can see that they had 2 different ways of bringing up a child. When there's a conjunction, it was working together energy.
Hey, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
so for you, your mom and dad just had a harmonizing type of energy when it came to like dealing with you,
Was that true?
raising you.
Yeah, that's true.
Your mom and dad got along really good? Awesome.
For the
Yeah.
sake of the kids, yeah.
Now, but he saw that because his
Yeah.
brother could have a square there and perceive the parents differently.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So because we have our own energy, we're not going to be
My-
we're not going to be the same even in raised in the same household.
Yeah, my brothers are like that. My brother's like that. He's seen things a lot different than I did.
And that's
I
because
just-
we all have our own energy,
I
and
just-
we can be raised in the same household,
Yeah.
same experiences, but we objectively experience them differently.
I just go with the flow. We always have always went with the flow.
Let's look at yours real quick.
Look at mine. Okay.
We're about to get inside your Uranus.
I know, right? Pluto, my Pluto's
What's
gonna be in
going
my
on
Uranus.
here?
Yeah, get the lube.
I should have known I was coming into this, okay? Because
You should've.
Sorry.
damn it, I didn't hit my max. Okay, I'm gonna have to delete.
Anthony
some stuff.
Presley
Give me a
said-
second.
Okay.
Eddie Press said that he's born July 8th, 1970, and it was at 10:23 a.m. here in Lexington, Kentucky, Fayette County.
Morning, baby.
All right, how do I delete? I gotta go back and delete some stuff. Oh,
That puts into perspective
You
everything
want to use
about
my
me.
phone?
yeah, give me yours, and I can just that way you have this website too, and you can just
Where
punch
is
in
my other
people's stuff.
I don't know.
I have.
Oh,
I literally
is it over there? Andy?
this one.
Yeah, you can use that one.
Okay, so this website, it's funny. This is how you know I'm always in this website. It has up to 100 charts that you can do. It's free. And I'm literally at my max. I have 100 people in there.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yeah, I
wow.
have my own software program at home, though, that I use. But this is just one, like, when I'm on the go, I'm, like, customers at work or whatever, so.
Here you go.
Okay, so let's see. Astrodance, remember that.
Okay.
Astrodance.com.
Chargers.
Extended chart selection.
Battery's about to die.
Free horoscope. Let me put extended chart selection. Wait, whose battery's about to die? The microphone? Oh, okay. I was like, uh-oh.
Here. No, it's plugged up.
It's plugged in, but it ain't charging.
All right, enter birth data. Accept. Your phone is so nice. I need to get a new phone, man.
yes.
Jesus.
My mom's a Leo, she said. That's my
We'll
mom.
probably have to
She
have
chimed in.
Oh, your mama.
We'll probably have to
Hello,
have
moms.
We'll probably have to have a separate episode where everybody can call in and she can.
I can do like some basic,
Yeah.
give them their sun, moon, and
Yeah,
rising.
I'm
That'd
look.
be great.
I have to
sure.
do
Yeah,
it.
it
I
did
have
say
to.
about Virgo. Your dad was a Virgo.
Yep.
Yeah, I have to.
Wow.
I forgot about
Oh,
that.
so your dad was a Virgo?
Yeah.
Oh, and your moon is in Virgo. So wow, so your dad affected you emotionally.
He does. Yeah.
He
Yeah,
does.
He loves his. He talks about his
Yeah,
dad all the
there's
time.
a connection there.
He
And it's,
did
it's
love
with
his
communicating. You guys have,
Is it
yeah,
working?
it's in your
Yes,
third
sir.
house of communication. So there's a big communicative world for you too.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Okay.
Okay. Nice.
And my biggest fan, Bumberg, actually said Fendiel is money.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So there we go.
Okay, you're the 11th like Cardi.
October 11th. Yep.
And what year are you?
73. Old fella. I'm an old
You're a
fella.
Pluto
You're
in
not that old.
Pluto Libra generation.
Pluto Libra.
Yeah, we're Pluto Scorpio generation.
And Pluto is what?
No, he's Pluto Libra. So both of you, we're Pluto Scorpio.
Okay.
So Pluto goes around every 7 to 8 years into a new sign.
Okay.
So those are generations because that's a generational planet.
Okay.
Astrology goes so deep.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, what time were you born again?
It says 11:30
AM or PM?
p.m.
11:30. Wow.
Yeah, almost next day.
Yeah. So you're a night chart technically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, USA, and you were born.
Lexington, Kentucky.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, I don't think I'm ever gonna move from here.
Yeah, Lexington's great. I love it. I love it. It's
I might
my,
get a
it's
second
my home.
house.
I couldn't
but-
go back to Hamilton. I've gone
I
back
don't
up there to
blame you.
visit.
That's how it is for me. I go back. I'm like, ugh, I
Yeah.
used to live here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what the?
Yeah.
Kentucky's
Exactly.
the place to be.
I've gone
Yeah.
up there, and this is home. Like I couldn't imagine.
It's
being
so crazy
anywhere.
how some people like they don't never leave where they are born, and they
Uh-huh.
have no idea like what more to life there is.
Yeah.
Like, it's, it blows
Like,
my
I-
mind.
I've lived here all my life, but I've
but
been
you
other
ventured
places.
out,
yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah, we lived in
As you
Florida
have
when I was a
too.
kid. We lived in Texas when I was a
But
kid.
to think that there's people like from where I'm from, they've never left that area. They
Oh,
don't know
there's
anything.
people that never left their neighborhood.
Imagine, like I can't live that small.
No, not
I
at
couldn't
all.
either.
Okay, so both of you guys are Cancer risings.
Cancer rising.
Yeah,
Cancer
interesting.
risings.
And both of you guys have Capricorn in the 7th house, which makes sense that you guys partnered together.
Okay.
7th is the house of partnership. But okay, so you're a Libra sun with a Cancer rising, and your moon is in Aries. Oh, I can see that.
Okay.
So Aries moon sometimes can mean emotional flare-ups with anger.
Me?
But as fast as you get angry is as fast as you let it go.
Oh, okay.
Because Mars energy is fast. Remember, it's quick.
Okay.
And Mars rules Aries.
Okay.
So if you get angry, it's like you're, oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm over it.
Yeah, I don't.
Like-
Yeah, I don't get angry. I will get angry,
And
but
it'll
not
be
very
only
long.
with work stuff because
Yeah.
it's in the 10th house. So really just the career and work can kind
Yeah,
of piss
but-
you off, but then
exactly.
it's like gone.
Yeah.
But I like how your moon is in your 10th and you put yourself out here on a podcast because that's your house of career.
Okay.
So that's funny. And then you have your Mars in Taurus. So just like Ken, your first house is in Cancer, which makes sense again why you might. Oh my gosh! And your Saturn sits on your rising sign.
Wow, it's almost like a
So Saturn's about discipline right here. Like you might have had a life where you've had to be really like straight and narrow in your life because as soon as you kind of venture off the shit, you get quick karma. Like you
really.
Yeah. You might not have been a person that could have got away with a lot of things. Like, you know how there's people in the world can get away with everything?
Yeah, I
You
get away
were-
with every now.
Yeah. For you, it's like if it's not done concisely,
Yeah. Oh.
you can see a lot of like karma from Capricorn. I mean, from Saturn because it's sitting in your Cancer house.
Yeah.
And it's in 4 degrees, so that represents your 4th house. So when I'm looking at your 4th house, you have Pluto there. So there's a lot of transformations when it comes to the home life. Whether when you were a child, might have been a lot of transformations, a lot.
We
of
moved a
changes.
lot when I was a kid.
Yeah, so
Like-
that's what I was going to get to next.
We
Yep.
moved a lot. I didn't like stay in the same house until I was in high school. And my dad was like, well, we'll stop moving and you can go to high school.
You can definitely see that with that Pluto in that fourth house. That's what it means, transforming, boom, 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 moving around.
We moved so much.
Oh, wow, yeah, I can definitely see that. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
You have Jupiter in the 8th house, dear, so that's actually great with partnering with people to make a lot of abundance financially.
Really?
Jupiter in the 8th also represents an inheritance of some sorts. So being that we're in the age of Aquarius now, and that's in the sign of Aquarius, that's something that you could probably see in the future coming up. Some type of inheritance or some type of big flow of money coming in.
Okay.
8th house deals with like big banks, big loans, things of that nature. The money that's like on the stock market and stuff like that. Yeah.
Wow.
So if you play with stocks or anything.
Well, I'm playing with this. Hopefully this will grow. This will blow up.
Yeah, this can be something too that can blow up because it's at 2 degrees. And 2 degrees represents, again, Taurus, which represents Venus, which represents money and your financial money, like your personal money.
Yeah, yeah.
So you have something there that can blow up eventually for you. And both of you, just like him, you have Leo in the 2nd house. You both do. So that represents being in charge of your own finances. So that makes sense, being self-employed, not working for other people. Yeah. Especially you with Saturn on your ascendant. I think being the boss has always been something that you gravitated towards.
Yeah.
And I'm sure authorities.
I'm not a tyrant, though.
Yeah, no, of course not.
Yeah,
but,
just a boss. Yeah, just like, okay, let's do this.
So
you're a nice guy.
Yeah,
I feel like father was a big theme for you because you have Saturn on your ascendant line. You have, the sun in your 4th house, which also represents dad. So dad was a big influence.
Yeah, my dad's a big influence on me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
major,
he's February the 3rd.
So he's an Aquarius.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's gonna be where their inheritance will come from.
Oh, maybe
from your dad. So, yeah. Maybe. And the 8th house is the representative of transitioning, life and death. So it'd probably, knock on wood, be when your father passes, you'll be left with some type of inheritance.
Okay, maybe.
He's probably over there like, I should just tell him.
Yeah.
Keep that secret.
Yeah. He don't seem to have much right now, but
never know. Something could happen.
Maybe he's got something.
Or maybe something put up or something in the family line because Jupiter represents anything ancestral. It doesn't have to be necessarily your dad. Yeah. It can be like grandparents leave something or, you inherit it somehow. Jupiter is about abundance. It's about getting lucky. And you have it in the house of inheritance.
Yeah, I've been pretty lucky with like finances and money and stuff.
And dealing with other people's money somehow. I don't know if you've ever dealt with handling other people's money. Something of that sense, but the 8th house represents that. So it can represent, like I said, stocks, real estate, bonds, big banks, loans, dealing with other people's money of some sorts, financial advisors, stuff of that nature. Yeah. So looking at your Venus, no wonder y'all cool. So you're a Sag Sun and you're a Sag Venus. And so Venus represents love. So this is why you guys can connect.
We're in love,
Venus,
Johnny.
Your Venus, it conjuncts to his
Me
sun.
and Johnny's in love. Love you, Johnny.
And he highlights the love energy for you. So when he comes in the room, he might brighten you up. And
he's a sweetheart.
He really does.
I like that.
Well, I'm not marrying you, Johnny, though. You would get some good insurance, though.
It's legal now.
Dude, and that's so funny to see the overlays because 6th house is the house of work, and his sun falls in the 6th house of your work.
Okay.
That's crazy. And then your Venus is there, so you guys make money together doing this.
Oh, yeah, we will.
That's
just
crazy.
Just think we've been doing well before he came on, and then once he came on, it just
probably blew up.
Exactly, yeah, because I needed help.
You were the extra glue.
The help.
I had the idea, and then this guy come along, and then this guy brought that guy, and it was like, we're doing really good.
Boom,
yeah, we're doing really good now.
It's crazy to see the overlays like that. That's why I like looking at people's charts together.
I probably talk to Johnny more than I talk to anybody.
He really does.
Mm-hmm. And I can see that because you trust him.
Yeah, I do trust him.
Trust there.
100%. I just don't see any way that Johnny would ever screw me over.
Well, your Neptune sits there, so it's going to be Neptune represents unconditional love. So you guys will always have an unconditional connection.
Oh, Johnny.
Always.
Oh, you're so sweet. I'm gonna put a ring on it, baby. Put a ring on it, Johnny.
So Mercury in Scorpio, sir. I have Mercury in Scorpio, and Scorpio represents the occult. Mercury, again, is the mind and how you learn, and Scorpio is deep. You can really, really learn the occult very well.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get into it, yeah.
And it's in your 5th house.
Let's get weird.
Speculation and gambling and just kind of taking risks.
Oh, you're gambling. You don't know about that.
Well, it shows gambling here, and your Mercury's there, so you might be really good at like gambling and bullshitting and the gift of the gab, and
gambling is part of my life.
Yeah, it's in your 5th house. That's the house of gambling. So hilarious.
It is a big part of my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yep. You can see it.
Yeah.
It's major for you.
And you can see it just by looking at them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you definitely, like with Uranus in there, it's almost like you take, I don't want to say, a calculated risk, if that makes sense. Because I know risks aren't always calculated, but you kind of take these risks by calculating them. Like, okay, I need to do it like this. Da, 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 da.
Yeah, I do things in a certain way.
Yeah, you're not going to just go out there and gamble like $5,000 and be an idiot. You're more
It's
calculated
more of like
about
being
it.
on the other side of gambling, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
Like,
I can see that because you have Uranus there.
Yeah.
That's genius energy.
Okay. Awesome.
You're smart.
Thank you.
That's right.
I try.
Yeah, so that's pretty much over the surface. Oh, okay, so opposition right here to the moon and the sun. Mom and dad had two different ideas of how to raise you. Two sides of the spectrum. They didn't always see eye to eye when it came to things about you.
Yeah.
I can see that here compared to how his mom and dad
My
tried.
mom and dad always like were arguing and
Yep,
stuff. Like
opposition.
but they loved each other.
Opposites
but they
attract.
opposite.
But they're,
Yeah, they were always hammering at each other. Yeah.
Yep.
My mom's pretty tough, and my dad's pretty tough. So they were like, my dad's a Vietnam vet, and my mom was,
Your moon is in Aries. Oh, yeah, your mom was hot-headed.
yeah, she was badass.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen her beat up men.
And your dad's more about, let's have balance. Like,
Yeah,
because the sun is in Libra, so your dad's more passive, like, until he gets flared up.
No, my dad is like he's like a thinker. Like he would sit there
Libra.
and take you apart. Like
He's going to weigh it out.
he's a warrior, so he's like, he's not passive at all, but a warrior.
With your mama, he might have been passive.
Probably with her,
She might have been like
Yeah.
And then eventually he's
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm done. Listen, we're doing it this way.
Yeah. She does.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
And they're both at 18 degrees, so that shows how your mom and dad were really at each other's necks sometimes.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, exactly.
And it was really about work and home issues.
Yeah, my dad didn't work much.
And your mom worked more because it's in the
Yeah.
house of career,
Mom-
and your dad stayed home more. It's
He
in the
did.
house of
Yep.
home.
My dad did all the grocery shopping and all that stuff.
And that's what they battled about.
Yeah,
Because your
yeah.
mom's more the feminine energy and your dad's more the masculine. And
Yeah.
so mom might have been like, okay, this doesn't work, but then they just did it that way.
Yeah.
so
Well, my dad,
interesting.
he had PTSD a
Oh.
lot because he was in the Vietnam War for like 3 years. So he couldn't
Going out with people probably, yeah. A lot of that is just offsetting the vibration. I don't think people realize that PTSD is something that you can
My
actually
dad was
fix.
my dad was a gangster, like in the streets gangster. Like
I believe it.
he picked me up from school one time and was like, "Come on, boy, we go." Me and him and my cousin Jimmy were like, and they jumped out of the station wagon, and he's like, gives me this leg to a chair, like a leg to a table, and he's like, "Hey, stand outside this door. If anybody comes out,
Guard this shit swing.
yeah, if anybody comes out that door, you hit them." They went in there in this pool hall and just cleaned house.
Oh my God.
And they just came out and they were like huffing and puffing. I was so glad nobody came out that door because I just was
Can you
14,
imagine?
15 years old. I was so scared. I was like, but if I didn't do it, he's gonna
Whoop your
yeah.
ass.
He probably wouldn't have, but he would have.
Yeah.
I thought he was
been
gonna.
like, yeah.
I always thought my dad was gonna kill me. Like I just thought he would just murder me anytime. Like because he had killed
That's that
people.
respect that you had for him.
Well, he had, he killed people over in Vietnam.
Yeah,
like he actually did. He would tell me stories. Like there would be stories when I would sit with him and he would just tell me stuff. Like I was kind of like his therapist. And
Which is what made you guys get so close to.
yeah, he would tell me stuff and we would just sit in the car and he'd talk like
Wow.
before school and after he picked me up, we would just sit there for an hour or so.
Open this again because
Okay.
without telling me, I want to see something. I'm not going to even ask you. Just want to look
Okay.
real quick. So it doesn't show siblings here,
I got a brother.
but you have a brother. Okay.
Yeah.
So were you closer to your dad than your brother?
I was closer to my dad than my brother, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
think
what
my-
it seems like because
yeah.
of the sun sitting in your fourth house.
Yeah, but now my seems like my dad and my brother are more close now.
they're bonding now more.
Yeah, but my brother's in jail now. He's in prison. So
Okay, that should happen. That's probably why I don't see him here.
yeah,
Because I don't see him. It doesn't pop up in your chart. However, you do have Saturn in your 12th, which represents asylums and prisons. And the 12th house is the unseen house,
Really?
and you have Saturn sitting there for restriction. So that makes sense.
yeah.
Makes sense because your brother can show up here in the 7th house of partnerships, which Saturn rules it. So it shows that somebody that you're close to.
Well, me and him were
Locked up.
very close when we was kids, but then after we grew up, we weren't so close.
Like he just kind of went the opposite way. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I mean about being raised in the same house and having different perceptions.
Yeah.
Like you can still be raised
Love
the
him
same,
to death. I
but
love him to death. He's a great, one of the best people I've ever met. But we went down the wrong path.
he has a different lesson. He has a different path to go through.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's okay. We're all at different timelines. We're all at different, frequencies. We're all here to experience something different.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point in time, you will experience me. I will experience you. Like you will cycle through it eventually.
Okay.
Every time you die, you come to experience something else, which is, it's going to take me back to karma and dharma. This is why they say you have to be careful on what you do to people, because you never know when you're going to get put through that. So if you judge someone and you're like, oh, I would have never done that. And then 10 years later, you're like, damn, I'm in that situation that I judged this lady 10 years ago.
So I try, I'm a pretty much study Taoism and just let things flow and have things where they're at. So do you think I learned that from another past life to live that kind of life? Because
I think so.
I kind of try to stay away from the karmic stuff to but then I like the good and the bad. I do some bad stuff, and I'm not.
And that doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong. So the way that we're taught, like sin, like, oh, I'm going to go do this, you're going to burn in hell.
Yeah.
That's not what it is. Everything is experiences. Whether it's good vibration or low vibration, it's something that you had to experience. It doesn't matter if it was, ultimately the good thing in someone's eyes, because it might be good to someone and it might not be good to another person.
Yeah.
Again, everything's about perception.
Yeah, yeah. So I always feel like the good, the bad weighs way more than the good. So you have to do so much more good to
level it out.
To level it out.
Absolutely. And that's why we keep repeating. That's why we come back to Earth, because while we have all this baggage we owe, we're also alive and we have amnesia. So we're accumulating more baggage.
Yeah,
and we're like not even fixing the shit.
So if we
I think that's why some people come back into a harder life each time.
So if we come back and we have in our 49-day in between there, we have a place that we can't remember that, or we can't remember our new life. Why do we do that? Where does that memory get lost?
So the memory gets blotted out.
Yeah.
I know it says this. There's a verse in the Bible that talks about that, the memory getting blotted out. But the reason for it, from my understanding, is that if you came back here with everything you know, you would just cheat.
Oh,
you would just cheat it out. What lesson would you learn?
Yeah, exactly.
How would you evolve? How would you grow?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So this is why we can't remember specific things. Now there are people that have that ability to tap in. There's some people that are like little kids that are like, oh, I remember I died like this in this one life. I know you guys.
So
seen some
where
of
does
the
that come
documentaries.
from? Is that a mistake, or is that?
No, that's because the child is still open. So once we get a certain age, we're so programmed that we're growing up that we lose that. But as children, that's why they say kids are like, so open to spirits, because they're not closed off yet.
Yeah.
So, their memory might still be lodged there. Like, for instance, for me as a kid, I would have a lot of memory of this life where I would have dreams that I was in a brothel.
Yeah. Okay.
As a kid,
Yeah.
and I didn't know what the hell that was, know, and then that memory ultimately transmuted into me being a dancer in this life, because I'm already familiar with that energy.
Okay.
And I ended up following that same kind of vibration again, because it's embedded in us.
Yeah.
So a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? But we just don't remember it. And as I got older, I forgot about that dream. And it wasn't until I did a past life regression and that dream came back up, and I was like, shit, that makes sense. I'm a dancer now. I'm still kind of in the same energy.
How do you go through that past life?
I had found a lady locally who does past life regressions.
Okay.
And I went through a little hypnosis
Ooh,
therapy.
really? She's locally? Mm-hmm. So we have to get her on the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. She's an awesome lady.
Yeah.
She's been doing that for quite some time.
You have to
She's
give
a
me her
Sagittarius.
You have to give me her name, and we'll get her. We'll definitely try to get her on the
I
podcast
don't
if
remember
she
her
comes
name
over.
off the top of my head, but I have her book at the house,
Okay.
and I'll text
All right,
you.
we'll try to get her on the podcast.
Yeah, and she's local. She's great, and she does that professionally as well as astrology. So.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So we kind of connected on that.
Yeah. We'll definitely have to see what she has to say.
Then she'll
and
put
you
you
can come
under
too.
too.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Give you a hypnosis session.
Yeah, we'll probably go try to do that, and then come back and say what's going on. See what. Yeah, let her keep it to herself, and then say it to me on the podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
That'd be cool. We have gone 2 hours.
Holy shit, doesn't even feel like it.
I know, right? Everybody
Yeah.
says.
Everybody says that.
Everybody
Wow.
that comes on the podcast says that.
That's great.
We can
We
go
had some-
longer if you want, but it's up
Nah,
to
I need a
you.
break.
Yeah, it's up to
Okay.
you. It's
We
up
can
to you.
come back next Thursday
Yeah,
if you want,
yeah.
if I have
we
time.
can. We can definitely do.
I'll check and see when my calendar's open.
Yeah,
and
we
I'll bring more things to talk
let
about.
us
'Cause this
let
gets
us know
really
because
deep.
we booked the show pretty quick, and we
Yeah, for
will.
sure.
You tell us what day you want, and we
And
can
it
bring you
doesn't
Yeah,
back.
just give me time to
It
gather
doesn't
some
have to be a
notes.
Thursday or something, but those are just the days we set
Yeah,
aside.
we
usually
It
do
could be
Wednesday and Thursday.
Either day.
During the week, honestly, Monday through Thursday is best for me because I'm
Yeah.
a weekend girl at work and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
And so this time of night is always really good too. Kids are asleep. I can sneak out of the house.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
But yeah,
sneak through the window.
Yeah.
Go in
Yeah.
the bedroom. I'm gonna be taking a nap. Head out the window. I'm
Like,
still in here. Have a recording. I'm still in here.
Don't knock on the door.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
working now.
Have two girls laying underneath those covers. Like
That's
that.
yeah, that's funny. That's funny. But yeah, we can definitely dig deeper into
Yeah,
this.
because there's a lot more that goes with all this. Like we
There's Bueller.
can jump into psychology with it, the colors and the spectrum. Like there's so
Wow.
much. So
Okay, yeah.
I would love to bring all that to kind of get people awake to that stuff.
Exactly.
Plant the seed, let people go out there and
Yeah,
see what
so-
happens.
So at this point of the podcast, we usually I'll usually let everybody say their little last words. So I usually start with Sean. So Sean, you want to go ahead?
I'd like to thank Priscilla for coming on. I found out a lot about myself today I didn't know, but looking back, it does make a lot of sense. Everybody in the comments, thanks for watching. Mr. Presley, as always, sir.
Mr. Smooth Gang.
Mr. Smooth Presley. Anthony Smooth Presley. That's it.
He's a PIMP.
That's right. Everybody else, thanks for coming in. Andy, Johnny, always a pleasure around you guys. Johnny, welcome back. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Thank you very much, but you still suck.
Johnny's a heel now. So go ahead, Johnny.
Turning off your mic? No.
It's your turn, Johnny.
Oh, yeah. I'd like to thank the beautiful Priscilla.
Thank you.
She opened up my mind today. I'd like to thank Andy.
Yeah.
I can't thank this guy.
Don't
'cause
say
he
I opened
sucks.
your anus.
Hey, this guy sold his booty
Dude, I gotta
today.
send the show
If
to my
it
brother.
wasn't
He
for
loves
you.
that damn word.
If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be on this podcast. I'm just saying, Johnny.
Yeah, you owe Sean a lot, Johnny.
Actually, I would have probably found my way here
You probably
one
would.
day. But yeah, I owe you. And I want to thank all of our viewers at home. Without y'all, we couldn't do this. Stay nice, buddy.
Priscilla, you can go ahead now. Give
yeah.
all your social medias and all that
All
stuff.
right,
too.
absolutely. So you can find me on Instagram at Spirit Coaching Astrology. You can also find me on the website, spiritcoachingastrology.com, where you can get bookings, can book, you can get readings, you can purchase my child book for your children. I have podcasts
Yeah, we
up
didn't
there.
even talk about your book.
Yes, I have a book out there, you guys. It's from ages.
Where do you get that on Amazon?
Yeah, so you can get it on Amazon. It's called A is for Aries. It's by me, Priscilla Rosado Cruz, and Micah Dank. And it's from ages like 6 to 11.
Okay.
It's just a quick little overview of the zodiac signs. It's very beautiful. It's very colored for the kids, so it'll catch their attention.
Yeah.
So you can get the book on my website as well. It's on there. I also have a podcast section where I don't do them personally, but I jump on people's podcasts. So
Okay.
I will be uploading this
Yeah.
on there as well, too.
Okay. Since we're in town, you'll be on here
Yeah,
a
and
lot
I'll just
more.
throw them all up on there. But yeah, so thank you guys for having me. I really
ma'am.
appreciate it.
Well,
It was very
thank
nice
you.
to meet all of you, and thank you everybody in the audience. I hope you guys liked it, and yeah, we'll get further eventually.
Awesome. Thank you. I'd like to shout out our sponsor, Royal X, where all your internet gaming needs. Check out Royal X on Facebook and tell them NiceGuyAndy podcast sent you, and they'll give you $5 in free play for signing up. And Royal Dark is for all your internet gaming late night needs. They'll stay open from 10 p.m. at night till 4 a.m. in the morning, and tell them NiceGuyAndy sent you, and they'll sign you up and get you ready to play. And I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Anthony Presley for being on the messaging the
Chiming
podcast. He's a big part of this
My number
thing we're
one
doing.
fan.
Priscilla's
right.
number one fan.
Tony
And,
Smooth.
Tony Smooth.
Smooth. That's it.
Tony Love. Anything I like to check out. You guys check out Bone Breaking Actions on YouTube. He's one of our biggest fans. Check out
Blades.
Bobby
YouTube
Blades
page.
YouTube channel. Check out all About Wrestling podcast on Instagram and
YouTube as
and
well.
YouTube too. And go and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We need all the subscriptions we can get. And leave a comment and go and follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook, Andrew Watkins' Facebook page, NiceGuyAndy podcast page. And check us out on all social medias. I even got a Snapchat if y'all want to watch my Snapchat. So, but I'd like to thank you for coming on, and I've learned so much. It was so interesting. You're a beautiful woman,
Thank
and
you.
I
Appreciate
love
that.
being able to spend time with
Mr.
you.
Presley said, no doubt, she has free tickets to New South Wrestling anytime.
Yay.
You got,
You can never
you got
get
free
right.
tickets to the wrestling
Yay. I
show.
can't wait
We
to
don't
go.
even get free tickets to the wrestling show.
Thank
Come on,
you.
Anthony.
Thank you, Anthony.
Oh,
we're
we
not,
get,
we're not a
you know,
10 after all.
I know we're not a 10. I'm just a
we're
jack.
just a 7 and a
jackass.
half
I'm a 10 of
at
hearts,
best.
so all
She's
the
a
love.
10 of heart, and I'm a jackass. So I'm with 2 aces, though. You know, how come you guys are aces and I'm a jackass?
Hey, sometimes that's the rules of the trade.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
I'll,
so
I'll take it.
we're gonna get off here, and if you're not having fun,
You ain't getting none.
Damn Skippy.
Thank you, and thank you, Priscilla.
No problem. Thank you.
All right,
No problem.
stay nice.
Stay
Nice Guy Andy Podcast.
That would fail.
Okay, awesome.
Skullface Records Radio.